Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones, and during this segment, we're going to get into a few we're going to get into a few current events here. I know there are a number of people talking about the issue with Dave Chappelle. I don't have much information on that. The only thing I can tell you is this. Shout out to Brother Ringo. He brought it to light early this morning that he was attacked on stage. Brother Reg, shout out to Reg the Bad Guy, another good YouTuber that I'm subscribed to. He brought it to attention as well. And, I want to say something right now because this world today seems to be getting worse and worse when it comes to this violence. I know I live here in the state of Indiana, live in Lafayette, Indiana, which is close to Purdue University. And when it comes to violence, they rarely ever have any violence here. But in the last month, they've had a few murders, shootings. And in the city of Indianapolis, they've had a number of shootings as well. Now, black people, we're the ones doing it. Black on black crime is high. And then you have some children out here getting killed as well. But what I'm going to talk about on tonight's video, I'm going to go over a little more customer service, put a little affirmative action into the mix. I'm also talk about blue collar jobs. Are blue collar jobs worthy of economics here in the United States? And of course, the Roe V Wade situation. Now, here's my interpretation of it. I know you have a lot of flaming left-wingers out there who are crazy as heck regarding this Roe v. Wade situation. But I'm just going to tell you this. From my gatherings, it looks like Roe v. Wade is going to be prohibited under federal law. Now, what's going to happen after that? Everything is going to be transferred to the states. So states like mine, Indiana, Texas, maybe Florida, I know Mississippi and Alabama, some of your red states, abortion might not be allowed in the red states. Now, when it comes to the blue states, California, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, everything up to Maine, abortion will still be allowed. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about abortion, but to me, murder is murder. When you kill, doesn't matter if it's abortion or murder, you're taking somebody's life when they didn't have a chance to defend themselves in most parts. Now, what I see here in today's society with everything that's going on, and it's been brewing up for quite a while, we have a cultural divide. And the cultural divide is traditionalism versus secularism. Now, And shout out to Brother Theo. I was on Brother Nate's panel last night, and he believes that there's not going to be a red wave during this election. I don't know. But then again, I told him on that panel last night that the left, yes, they're going to be enraged about the abortion ruling, but it hasn't passed anything yet. It hasn't been put up for any vote. I mean, the Supreme Court, this is a leak that happened, I believe. Nobody knows who leaked it out. Of course, the media got a hold of it. But what I can tell you is this. When it comes to the abortion rule, women have many options to opt out of having children, where men only have 3. And as a man, we're always told that we need to be responsible. And the funny thing about the ruling when it comes to abortion, men, if they don't want the child, they still have to be responsible. Now, you have a lot of pro-choice individuals out here who believe that's my body. Of course, it's your body. But I can say that's my wallet. I'm forced to give you monies even if I don't want the child. Is that fair? All that's up to discussion. But the big thing to tell you is this cultural divide. What's really going to happen? Who's brewing this cultural war? You know, war is fought many different ways. We know war of the ones that are always fought on the battlefield. This is a war of attrition right here. And during the election year, there are going to be individuals out here who are going to walk a fine line. They don't care about anything but their own chance to get reelected. Now, I'm just going to say this. When it comes to culture wars, you have to ask yourself, correction, you have to ask yourself, and let me slow down a little bit, a little tired from working a long day and had long hours this week. It's only Wednesday, so let me kick back, let my words not rattle out so quickly. So let me start over about this culture war. This is a war that is going to come down to, do you want a country that's got tradition, or do you want secularism? Now, if you look at the map of the United States, it appears that the states that are blue, your Californias and your New Yorks, they want to speak for everybody else. The state that I live in, Indiana, it's a small state, not just land-wise, but population-wise. And again, I'm glad we have the Electoral College as well. If we didn't have the Electoral College, New York and California would be the 2 states to decide who our next president would be. Now, be that it is an election year, what issues are going to be put to the forefront? Now, I know the abortion issue is going to be one. And I know the left is going to get very, very fired up about the abortion law. But what about the right? You don't think the right is going to come out? I believe the right's going to be just as fired up because, first of all, when I walk out the door every morning, I got to deal with high gas prices. I got to deal with the high cost of food. Has anybody ordered food from DoorDash when you're at home? Hey, shout out to you, Brother Davis. Good evening. Well, if you go order food from DoorDash, and the customer service is great with DoorDash, however, the bill is mighty high. If you go and buy groceries, your grocery bill is going to be very high. The cost of tuition to go to college, that's very high. So the cost of goods and services are basically exceeding our affordability. Now, is this all by design? I'm not a one who believes, hey, Celine, how you doing? Good video you did too. I'm not one that believes in all these conspiracy theories. I only look at the real world. And what I'm going to say to you right now is you need to be looking around and you need to understand what's going on and you need to care about what's going on. Because if it's not in your neighborhood today, I guarantee you at some point it will be in your neighborhood. Again, I live here in the city of Lafayette, Indiana. And that same violence that you get in Chicago and in Indianapolis is here. Kokomo, Indiana is another place that people are getting shot with guns. And you see a number of children handling weapons. Children are killing children. And just yesterday on I-20 in Atlanta, Georgia, an African-American woman in a road rage incident shot a 17-year-old woman in the face. Now, I know I get upset, but I'm not going to get out of my car with a pistol in my hand and put a cap in somebody. Because I know what's going to come down the pipe after that. Jail time. You see, with this impulsive thinking, because of the violent nature of this country, and the violence is coming from every which way but loose. You cannot have discussions with individuals because you'll hurt their feelings. The cancel culture is another problem. It's because individuals on the left don't want to hear what anybody on the right has to say. Now, again, you had Elon Musk, who bought Twitter. Now, is that going to hurt Donald Trump's Truth Social? I don't believe it is. It's good to have competition. Shout out to brother Gerald, 28 conservatives are going. This is what I said last night, Gerald. The problem with conservatives is, yes, that's 100% correct. And shout out to brother Nate. I said it on your show last night. Conservatives are always on the defensive. They're afraid to fight. While the liberals, they're going to come with knives, hammers, everything that is going to prepare them for a fight. I mean, you look at, again, this abortion issue. Look at all the feminists out there. Now, it's funny about these feminists, and this is why I don't like feminists. They're very hypocritical. I don't believe anything they have to say. Number of them are really women who are undesirable women. They go to college, they become professors, some of them. They run for office, but in the end, nobody wants them because we don't care about your opinion, feminists. Many of you out there think you have all the power. Many of you have been brainwashed by all the colleges and universities. And if you are a man, don't go to a college or a university. Go to a community college, get a 2 year degree, save your money, get a blue collar job. And do not go out and get a high paying job to get women. That's a mistake. Get something that's going to satisfy you. But all the current events going on, if you look at society, I mean, I look at the NFL every year, they're putting something out for breast cancer, but not prostate cancer. And I know why they're all doing it. They're doing it to try to get the women. And I thought equality means that women can do anything we can do. So for all the feminists out there, how come you can't come up with your own media, your own NFL football league? I mean, the Wnba is being subsidized by the NBA. You all have Title IX. Let's get rid of Title IX and see what you can do. Affirmative action. Now, affirmative action is pretty big to me because as a black man, I never got affirmative action. Affirmative action, believe it or not, strap on your seatbelts. White women have benefited from affirmative action. Why? Because during the times that black men couldn't vote, white women were, of course, white, and they did not want black men or black people outdoing them. So in the late 60s, they got a benefit from affirmative action. They got put in a minority status, which I do not believe that a white woman should be a minority when she's part of the majority. Now, did she ever go through woman's suffrage? Absolutely. Did a black woman go through woman's suffrage? No, she didn't. But again, this is not about black women or white women, but I'm just telling you the affirmative action or anything that is race based that's going to give somebody an upper hand even when they didn't earn it. Because the problem with affirmative action is you got to hire individuals that aren't really qualified for the position. And in the long run, you're not doing your company any good. Now, in life, everything is not going to be fair. I am just tired of hearing all this equality. It's not fair. It's not happening for me. Well, here's what I want to tell you. We all have an opportunity if we're willing to take the opportunity. Whether you come from the hood, whether you come from the trailer park, whether you've been fed a silver spoon, the bottom line is some are going to have to work harder than others to get it. Again, listen to me closely. Some are going to have to work harder than others to get it. And when I talk about equality, do we all have an opportunity? Yes. It's like YouTube. A number of us create content on YouTube. Some content gets more than others. Now, it doesn't mean that smaller channels have worse content. Celine says, my biggest issue with the alt-right is that they think abortion prevention will stop people from having sex. Although I advocate abstinence, you still have a right to know about contraceptives. Well, Celine, in the long run, no, you're not going to stop people from having sex. Contraceptives, everything has already been put in place. What it's coming down to is, are the individuals going to utilize the options that they have. And if they had been utilizing the options, we wouldn't have to talk about abortion. Now, again, abortion is not supposed to be used as birth control. There's plenty of it out there. Now, men only have 3 types of birth control, and that's a vasectomy, abstinence, and a condom. That's it for men. Women have all the options in the world, and they can get it free. So when I hear it takes 2 to tango, yes, it does. However, when women have more options, they should be using those other options so they don't become single mothers. With 30 plus forms of birth control, abortion clinics should be boarded up. Well, that's true. Now, again, everybody's talking about the abortion law. Abortions will never be outlawed here in the United States. If something passes, it may be the lifting of the federal mandate of Roe versus Wade. That's just like somebody telling me, will Loving versus Virginia become a thing of the past or outlawed? Yes, will Loving versus Virginia, and that featured a white man, black woman. No, it's not. You have to let the states determine the laws. The problem is we have too much government. And the more government that we have, the more intrusion comes into our lives. And you have a bunch of individuals. Hey, what's going on, Brother Mel? You get a bunch of individuals up there in power who don't live in the real world. Again, women have the responsibility to require a condom and also take birth control, and they should guard their wombs the best they can. They should. But are they doing it? I mean, I tell the man the same thing. This is why I constantly preach to men, don't make vagina the number one item. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to end up with a baby. And children are very expensive. And you have a number of parents who are killing their kids out here. I mean, I've seen some of the information Tommy Jean has sent me. I just can't put some of it on YouTube or they'll flag my channel. But I think I'm going to use some of it when I do the pre-recorded videos with nothing but news. Because this country that I fought for 17 years, 4 years active duty Navy, 13 years reserve Navy, it's not complex. We just have a number of people who are in power who shouldn't even be in power. And like I told Brother Nate yesterday, when it comes to we as blacks and electing people, if we elect people who look like us, it's merely just for the symbolism. I mean, you look at the new Supreme Court justice that was appointed. It's not like we hadn't had anybody African American. Heck, you had Thurgood Marshall. Of course, you had Clarence Thomas. Now you have this other lady. And the funny thing about it is, your liberals in the Supreme Court are all women. What's going on, Brother Deshaun? But, I say knowledge is power. You have to pay attention to what's going on around you and use a lot of common sense. I mean, what I am telling you, you already heard before. You just have to put it into action. Hey, how you doing, Jenny? Welcome to the chat. Many of us have allowed the colleges and universities, social media, religion, government, and private sector jobs to take over our lives, and we don't know how to organize them right. And when it comes to fighting, many of us, we don't fight for what we need to fight for. I mean, we're fighting over symbolism, to tell you the truth. We put somebody in there just because they're black. Well, just because you look like me, it doesn't mean you're going to offer policies to help people like me out. Again, when it comes to the abortion law, nothing is passed yet. And they're going to go through all types of debates about it. But what I do believe is this: put in the hands of the state. Here's a new member, DDT Inc. I think President Trump's excellent work in making abortion illegal is a big win for the U.S. Now, abortion is not illegal. What's going to happen is, and I want you all to listen to me, the states are going to dictate it. And as far as improving as a society, it's going to take more than the abortion rule for us to improve as a society. We have to go into gutting out the mainstream media, your colleges and universities, your religious institutions. We have to gut out the people who are running social media. We have to gut out the people who don't have any type of common sense. Jenny V says, what's more shocking to me is late trimester deletion. Well, that's a fact too. But let me tell you something too. As we talk about the abortion, what about the children already living who are killing each other? I mean, you have teenagers with guns out here. You have individuals for no reason robbing people just because they can do it. You have young people beating up on old people. And I've seen some videos of it. In fact, there was a video a while back that I saw in New York where a young guy, for no reason, hit an old woman, knocked her down. There was no reason for that, but he thought he could. Now, what do you think we should do? Make guns illegal? Guns will never be illegal because the criminals, they don't care about the law. We need guns. The bottom line is what we have to do. We have to utilize the system and make examples of the people who are using these guns to prey on our innocent citizens. That's what we have to do. We're not England. See, it's not the guns that kill people, it's people who kill people. And that's a fact. I mean, the gun could sit there by itself till I do something with it. That gun isn't going to do anything. All I'm just saying is, many of us have to understand what's going on around us. I mean, this dysfunction is coming because you have a lot of parents who are dysfunctional. We have individuals who don't believe in the nuclear family anymore because they believe in government. I think it's a good solution to have free therapy for mentally deranged people who may be dangerous. So put them back in the state hospital. Open those state hospitals back up that Reagan closed down. That's what we need to do, because we do have a lot of crazies running around who should be institutionalized. And also, Jenny says, Children being born into dysfunctional families. What is better, existence or deletion? In the end, it's always the children who suffer. Well, yeah, I don't blame everything on the children. Okay, the children did not ask to be here. But you have a number of parents with the mindset of a child as well, because what happens is these parents are going to the club, they're meeting individuals. They don't know the individuals that they're meeting. They don't even know where the individuals have been, and they're hooking up. And when they're hooking up over a shot of tequila or a shot of scotch, and they're getting blitzed out of their mind, going in the bathroom, woman's getting down on her knees, giving the dude some head, the guy is just shooting her in the mouth or shooting her in the pussy, there's pregnancy that's going to happen. We all know it, with no protection. Now, I was back in the 80s when there was the AIDS scare. Now, things did slow down a little bit, but in the 90s, it revved right back up. Contraception isn't the answer. People have access to contraceptives, but are too lazy to take it. Well, if there's no contraception, there is other forms of birth control, but they're not being used. As a man, we're always told we are the ones who have to use all of the condoms. Condoms break. They do. DDT Inc. says it's unfortunate, but unprotected sex will soon be illegal. Well, I don't know about that, because you can't legislate what people do in their bedrooms, DDT Inc. It's not going to happen. You're not going to catch everybody. I mean, just because a law is put out, every law is not a good law either. I mean, you think the child support laws are good laws? No, they're not good laws. I mean, I can see the intent, but over time, the men get screwed. But see, it's up to us to change some of these laws. And we don't have to be an expert in politics, but what we need to do is understand what's going on around us. Because a number of us, they call themselves woke. No, they're asleep at the wheel. They've lost their common sense, for God's sakes. So in the end, we have a lot of individuals who are low information voters. They lack common sense, even though they have a degree or they don't have a degree. They have a good job or they don't. They don't understand how the real world works. When you get out here in the real world, you have to be accountable and responsible for what you do. That's the real world. Now, I have a poll question, and my poll question is up, and it looks like I got 11 votes already. Is this country in a culture war? And the culture war is traditionalism versus secularism. Let me know what you think. Brother Guy King, the government is considering banning abortion only because Caucasian birth rates are much too low. Then they'll see what happens in 2050. You know, Brother Guy King, you might be onto something right there, because you might be onto something. I can drop the link, and you can definitely come on up here and explain that. It's a good point, because the Caucasian rates are very low. I know with us, they're very high, and with the Hispanics, they're even higher. See, the problem is too, and I'm going to sound a little raw, I don't believe in murdering kids. However, when you are having a bunch of kids and you're a failure yourself, your kids are going to be a failure. And we're going to have this vicious cycle of pregnancies that are going to keep occurring in the welfare system. This is all part of Cloward Pivens, by the way. Get people to drain the welfare system and we start another system. DDT says they want less minorities. No, I don't believe they want less minorities. They want more responsible people. That's what they want. Minorities, race really has nothing to do with it, because, you have a number of white women who are also single mothers. What's going on, Brother Lawrence Bertano? In the end, it is up to us to be responsible people. I mean, most of us who work, if we don't go to work when we should, we're going to be fired. And that's our own fault. Jenny V, I'm not against abortion. I'm against using it as birth control. Well, yeah, I'm for using contraceptives or something. I'm against abortion myself. Oh, you're not against it. You're pro-abortion. Well, okay. I mean, you have your view on that, but the real meaning is there are a number of individuals who are using it as an easy way out. But also, some women I've heard who have gotten abortions, it's messed them up psychologically as well.
We're using it as an easy.
Brother Mel, what's going on? Hey, welcome to the panel, brother.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? What say you about this issue of? We talked about it on Nate's show last night.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty much pro-life myself, but there are other things happening besides the abortion. And you live in New York and all the violence that's taking place with kids killing kids out here. What say you, brother?
Well, number one, we gotta let's see how they freaking out like crazy. Even though it's not fully kicked off yet as a law or whatever, yeah, it was a draft, a plan note that got exposed. So someone's getting in trouble over there, but it's definitely showing a sign of something like that probably might happen, a big shaker. But yeah, I mean, I'm not against abortion 100%. I'm not for 100% either. It's more like an 80-20 with me and stuff. Like only situations when it comes to sexual assault and everything, and that woman being forced to have that kid's child and everything. Because God forbid if happens to a loved one of mine, a wife, daughter, female relatives, and some fool felt like sexual assaulting her, and unfortunately a pregnancy happened behind that. I'm not raising that kid. We destroying that kid. Nah, that's when abortion should happen, especially if she gets detriment to her health behind that. That's when I'm for it. But the way they over abuse it, the way they did, as you know what I'm saying? Because remember, our tax money is paying for this mess. That's the problem. The females over abuse it too much the way they did. Instead of doing it for responsible measures and stuff like that. And this does get kicked off, then you know what? This is when it's going to be responsible on both parties now. It's not just us telling dudes to strap up, but also too forcing women to reinforce that strap up that us men tell the other dudes. Because unfortunately, we see the whole controversy going on. Who's more responsible when a oof baby come in the measure, as they say? And I always put more emphasis on the women because the women are the final say so when it comes to sex. If they are the gatekeepers of sex, then as much as we tell the dudes, remind dudes to bring them condoms, you're the final stage to reinforce it.
Yeah, that's facts. Now, DDT says, I am more on the side of pro-abortion because the U.S. is already very overpopulated. Can't even go to the grocery store without traffic. Oh, that's okay.
Uh-huh.
He's for abortion. He believes that the United.
No. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, but the reason for it, it must be in a small major city like New York. I mean,
well, if he's in New York, you're in New York. You know how it
is. Yeah, it's despite New York City, it's still a small area. So
right now, Jenny V says in some cases like rape, incest, I can understand it.
Yeah,
I don't think women should do it as purely for their own selfishness, and I believe this is what a number of you all are saying too. I believe it that way. And now you talk about overpopulated areas. You look at China and India. I mean, you talk about a lot of people. They got animals running mucking in India, and then Brian Davis says abortion was intended to reduce the black population. However, Caucasian women began to get abortions at nearly the same rate. Can't have that happening. Well, I believe that a number of white women got abortions because, okay, they didn't want to be a single mom. And once they got an abortion, they could actually come live their lives again. That's why they got it as well. And that's just
Then the welfare state came in also too. So reward women for being single mothers.
yeah, well, facts. And now Jenny says, I've seen the results of a botched abortion, and that image will stay with me for the rest of my life. Ooh, man, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And brother DDT he believes it's a good method of population control, basically. Well, I'm gonna tell you something.
Up the population.
Go ahead, brother Mel.
They are trying to up the population because if you're gonna realize this, like, there's more old people, and I don't know if young people having babies like we think it is. I mean, there's a lot of women getting abortion the way it is. It's nothing. Women being taught to prolong starting families to over 35 and whatsoever. Yeah, they see the population is not growing as much as it is, and not a lot of productive people building the country the way it is.
That's a fact. Now, my brother Guy King says America's not overcrowded at all, just needs better city planning, better engineering of the infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. When you live in New York, and if you've been on the, I call it I-278, the BBQ, the Brooklyn Bronx Queen Expressway. Look how bad that is.
No, yeah, the BQE.
Yeah, is that what they call it, the BQE?
This came in like an hour ago, man. It was crowded. Like all the cars are going towards Brooklyn. I mean, Brooklyn to Queens to Long Island. Yeah, they got that heavy traffic.
They still have it. And brother,
I was just on my way from Queens. I was trying to be on my way to Queens to Brooklyn. And I'm like, this traffic is too heavy everywhere. I'm going right back home.
They got all the tolls up there, and I'm like, well, where's all the toll money now? Now I know where all the tunnel money went and all the bridges that were $15. Do you know that New World Trade Center that was built because of all the toll money? Because New York, New Jersey, somebody
talking about the Holland Tunnel.
Not the Holland Tunnel, the Gotham Bridge,
Jersey,
GW Bridge.
Yeah, Holland Tunnel, Lincoln, and George Washington Bridge. Yeah. Right. They up the tolls not because they're building the World Trade. They up the tolls because they're trying to fund the MTA.
Oh, I heard it was for that Freedom Tower that they built, the New World Trade Center too.
Yeah. No, that money ain't coming from the tolls. That's not just coming from taxpayers. When they up the toll fee, that's just for the MTA.
Right. Okay, that's the bus system, right?
Yeah.
That's the bus and the subway system, right?
Yep. Metropolitan Transportation Authority, yeah.
Wow. Well, Deshaun says, I don't think the states overall are overpopulated. We do have areas that are heavily populated. Well, that's a fact. You come out to the Midwest and places like Montana, they're not overpopulated. And Jenny V said there was a stigma attached to white women being unwed mothers. That's a fact. And again, DDT says the tolls are brutal. He used to live in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing we talked about with this issue of abortion. Oh, got a brother. Long time no see. Welcome to the chat, brother. Angry Snowman.
What it do?
What's good, man?
What's up, Mel? What's up, brother Leon?
What's going on, brother?
Watching the meltdowns like everyone else. It's actually been quite entertaining to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's interesting how all these women are proving that they would eat their own young.
Oh, man.
I knew you were gonna come up with some crazy shit like that, bro. But go ahead, bro. Elaborate on it.
Nah, man, they're losing their minds. I ain't never, dude. Look, when I heard about the Roe versus Wade thing.
Yeah.
Like I heard about it like an hour after Politico dropped the damn article, and I woke the wife up and I was like, "Oh my God, tomorrow, the internet's going to be so screwed up over this. People are going to lose their minds. Women are going to come unglued. It's going to be the end of the world as we know it. This is going to be the end of all female lives."
Well, if you look at it, brother, there have been a lot of people who have been unglued, and it hasn't even really passed anything yet. Somebody leaked some information out. Now, what I am hearing is they're not getting.
They haven't technically put it into power yet. This is what was leaked was a court opinion, and it's a popular court opinion by the Supreme Court justices over this.
And it may not even
this is a draft, and someone from there just decided to leak it. Some liberal person leaked it, so that's going to be someone's ass. It's like Edward Snowden, how he went and had government secrets.
and it may not even go through.
Well, look, the thing is, I've got multiple different thoughts and opinions on this.
Okay.
You know, I really do. First off, most of these people don't even realize that when they're talking about Roe versus Wade, for one,
yes.
what they consider as today's abortion rights have nothing to do with Roe versus Wade at all whatsoever. Because Roe versus Wade was that abortion that was given under due process was the fact that a woman should have the right to decide whether or not she wants to terminate a pregnancy if it is actually detrimental to her life or her physical her major physical attributes, like if it was going to paralyze her to give birth or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what Roe versus Wade was about. Making it to where it wasn't 100% illegal anymore, because prior to that, historically, abortion had always been illegal in the Americas. Always. All right? What we know of as abortion rights today is actually it's Parenthood. Carter, I think it is.
Yeah, you kind of boiking there, bro.
I think you last said Carter.
Can you hear me? It's Planned Parenthood versus Casey. Sorry, Planned Parenthood versus Casey is the case that, they consider abortion rights law now. And let me look that up real quick. I'll tell you what's important about that.
Right. Before while you're doing that,
that lady, I forgot her name, that started that Planned Parenthood.
Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger.
Yeah. Try to exterminate one race to another with the Planned Parenthood shit.
Yeah, that
well,
was
see the thing. Well,
go ahead,
the
brother.
the thing about Planned Parenthood versus Casey is this was Planned Parenthood trying to actually have certain subsections of Roe versus Wade removed from the original court ruling. 5 of the main topics five of the main subsections they had removed was informed consent, where a woman seeking abortion had to give her informed consent prior to procedure. They had to be informed that that's what's going on. That was removed. So now, with Casey, that's basically they don't have to be informed that they're aborting their child, I guess. Subsection 3209 was spousal notice. A woman seeking an abortion had to sign a statement declaring that she had to notify her husband prior to undergoing the procedure. That was what was in the original Roe versus Wade ruling. That was removed with Planned Parenthood versus Casey. Parental consent, where if you're a minor, you have to have at least one of your parents or a guardian's consent to get an abortion. They had that removed. Medical emergency definition, subsection 3203. They actually had the medical emergency definition removed from Roe versus Wade, which used to state that condition which it says defining medical emergency as a condition which, on the basis of the physician's good faith clinical judgment, so complicates the medical condition of a pregnant woman as to necessitate the immediate abortion of her pregnancy to avert her death, or for which a felony will create serious risk of substantial and irreversible impairment of a major bodily function. That was the main reason for abortion, and now they have that. They had that completely removed, and then they also had subsection 3207B, 3214A, and 3214F, which all pertain to reporting requirements, where prior to all this ruling, Planned Parenthood and all these hospitals that actually gave abortions had to keep records and report on this stuff, and they had that removed to where they don't have to do that. So that's basically today's abortion rights. And I'm sorry, but to me, what I'm reading with just those 5 subsections that they removed, they're saying that it's all right for a woman to murder somebody with impunity and not have to deal with it. It's legal murder. It really is.
All right, Brother Angry Snowman. We've just been joined by Jenny V and Brother Big Body. How you doing, Jenny?
I'm good, thank you.
What's up, Miss Jenny?
Hi.
How you doing?
Commentary.
Hey, Jenny V, what's happening?
I just wanted to clarify something earlier on when I said in the chat about
Yes.
a botched abortion. I want to
Okay.
share something with you. My brother and his then girlfriend were in a long relationship. I think they'd been together something like 7 years. They'd had a child, and when the child was 6 months old, they found out his girlfriend was pregnant again. She was on the implant. I don't know if you have the implants in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she was given that as soon as she gave birth, basically. So they didn't want any more kids, so they took the implant and used that. That failed. They were on, he was out of work, he just lost his job. She wasn't working, they had a 6-month-old child, and they decided the best thing to do was to have an abortion. So she went in and she did the business. I babysat because she had a child as well from another relationship. So I babysat. She was gone overnight. She came home the next day, and as far as we know, everything was fine. She started to feel a bit under the weather, and my mum and dad were on holiday at the time, so my brother calls me and says, I need your help, can you come down? Something isn't right. So I go down to them, and she's laid in bed and she's in a lot of pain. And she told me about the abortion the day she came out. She said that she actually saw the waste, as they put it. That's the technical term they said to her, is we're going to take the waste away now. And she was telling me about it. Now, she's laid on the bed and she starts crying. She said, I'm in such pain. She said, I don't know what's going on. So I said to her, look, I'm going to have a look what's going on. But, so I pulled back the sheets. And there on that bed was a little baby. It fitted in the palm of my hand. I had to pick it up off the sheet. And it was a male baby. I had to put it on a towel, and I was ringing the midwife. She had her old midwife, and they were talking me through this stuff, and they said, have you got a bin? Have you got a bucket? And I'm like, we can get a bucket, it's downstairs. They said, put it in a bucket. And I'm like, there's no way on this God's planet I'm putting that baby in a bucket. It will go in a towel, it will be wrapped up as much as it has to be wrapped up, but I'm not putting it in a bucket. So, long story short was, it turned out she was carrying twins. They managed to they got rid of one, but they didn't get rid of the other, and she miscarried. So that image, that's why I'm not anti-abortion, because I know there are cases where abortion is right for the person. I don't believe in using it as a birth control. If you're too lazy to keep your legs shut or to say no once in a while, then you shouldn't be having kids full stop. So don't use it as a means of contraception. But unless you've seen the actual thing, this is my point, I reckon they should make the women clean up after themselves. And maybe once they see that little child, because I'll tell you what, that baby was, I think it was something like 3.5 to 4 months developed. And I could see everything. Hands,
That
feet.
wasn't no fetus, was it? That was a baby. That was a person.
That was a baby. And the thing is now, they're talking about first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. When does it stop? What happens when that child is a year old and you just decide one day you don't want to be a parent anymore? Do you get rid of it then? Do you get rid of it at 5 years of age? When does it stop being an abortion, and when does it start being classed as murder?
Facts. Shout out to my boy, Man's Daily Advice and Encouragement channel. Get over there and subscribe to his channel. DDT Inc. says the UK is a lot more progressive than us in America. Well, Jenny can explain that. DDT believes that your country is more progressive. I mean, I know they got more, it's more socialist than America.
I think in regards to abortion, I think we have more of an issue with single mums, which means we're going totally the opposite way. We believe in having the kids, but then again, it's children having children, because we are getting young girls, 16 years of age, who are going out actively getting pregnant just so that they can have a home, a house given them, things like that, claim benefits, blah, blah, blah. There's no responsibility in any of it. Abortion,
I was just going to say, Jenny, in America, we have a lot of young girls that are single moms. We have that same epidemic. If you think, I could be wrong, but I'd be willing to bet that when it comes to abortions, it seems to be more so, like the late 20s to early 40s age range. Like from 28 to 40, 41 age women in America that are going out and getting abortions because, they just don't want them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think that's fair, Leon, to claim that it's majority that age range?
Now it is, because back when I was in my late teens and early 20s, teen pregnancy was high. Now this goes all the way back in the 80s. Now, ever since then, teen pregnancy has basically decreased. And yeah, just like you said, Angry Snowman, for the most part, between 28 or even, I would say probably a little higher than that, you have a number of individuals that want to have fun, so they don't want the child, or if they do have the child, they pawn that child off on someone else, like it's their mother or grandmother, somebody else is in play taking care of that child if they don't want that child, because their grandmothers who are in their 60s who have adopted their daughter's children as well.
All right, because these women are living their best life.
And the children don't know who the parent is. Is it the grandma who's the parent? Is it the uncle who's the parent? You know what I mean? They don't know who they're supposed to be taking. They don't know who to be taught by. Because if they're constantly with the grandparents then effectively become the parents. So there's no stability in that child's life from the moment it's born.
There's no power structure in their life.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, we've just been joined by Brother Big Body. What's going on, Brother Matt?
Hey, man, what's going on? Sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties earlier with my connection, but how's everybody doing?
Is that a Sportster you're on?
Sport? Huh?
Is that a Sporty you're on?
Nah, I'm just this T-Mobile 5G bullshit.
No, I'm talking about in your picture, dude. It looks like you're on a 1200.
Oh no, it's Yamaha V-Star 1100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about right on the size.
Yeah. You're right there. Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, these new bikes, man, and everybody going V-twin in pictures, it's sometimes hard to differentiate if they're Harley or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brother Matt, what do you got to say about because we got all kinds of topics we're talking about. We'll get into
I heard something about abortion. I was.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about, and Brother Angry Snowman broke the light of it when we talked about the Roe versus Wade and Brother Mel, because there are a number of individuals who are up in arms, particularly the feminists out here in America. They're up in arms. They think abortion is going away. Now, we know it is not going away. Somebody leaked out something, and a lot of people have fallen for it. Now, here's my interpretation. I believe that if they do get rid of Roe versus Wade, they're going to put it back into the states. That's all that's going to happen. And if you're in a state that doesn't allow abortion, you go to a state that has abortion. It's going to happen.
Well, Indiana will ban it.
Oh, I already know our state, Brother Angry Snowman. It's gone out here.
But look, if you don't mind, one other point I wanted to bring up about that someone brought up, that was really interesting, and I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on it, is the fact that look at how close we are to the midterms. How do we know that this isn't just a ploy for them to get more of these radical lefties out to the polls because they're pissed off and angry?
I heard that being mentioned a lot too. Yeah, like I wouldn't bypass that. You know, like being the midterm closing, the blue side need their numbers up and stuff. Yeah, you know, get
But
that.
I did say that, Mel and Angry Snowman, that okay, you think the left is going to come out? Hey, the right's going to come out, and I said this on Nate's panel last night. The right's going to come out as well. So you got the whole Midwest out here, brother Angry Snowman, where we live. It's basically, except for one state. You know what that is, brother Angry Snowman, and that's probably in not Indiana, Illinois.
You know it, man. Chicago hates voters.
Yeah, Chicago's a disaster. Chirac.
Look, dude. I think somebody brought that up on another panel I was on. That was one of the. I overlooked that aspect, and you know that really does make a lot of sense if you look at it as a tactical advantage, you know, or some kind of tactical ploy in order to, you know, basically light a fire up under people that, you know, have taken a lot of losses. If you look at the far left, they've taken a lot of huge losses. They've taken a lot of big L's in this country in the last 2 years now. A lot of big L's. You know, the whole Joe Biden thing ain't turning out the way they wanted it to. You know, the economy ain't turning out the way that they expected it to. You know, prices are going up. You know, all this shit. You got the Biden laptop. You know, you got. They're trying to cover up Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, there's a lot of L's that the left they've taken, man.
And remember, Elon Musk just bought Twitter.
Hey, you know what's crazy you say about prices going up? I'm a trucker, by the way. Well, I kind of, sort of still, I'm shying away from it, but I seen the cost of diesel today for $6.69 a gallon. What the fuck is going on with the economy?
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that they didn't confirm it, but all I'm saying is it could be used to get people to go out and vote because they're angry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says you're using Fox News. I don't even believe you watch Fox
Dude,
News.
I don't watch the news at all.
Yeah, me either.
But you know what? There's that. What wasn't SKC talking about that earlier, Jenny? People that they what is it? They predict who you are. You know, they assume all this stuff, all this, you know, psychic predictions and stuff just by one thing that somebody said.
Right. Shout out to my brother, Dark Knight Mentality. Welcome to the building, brother. Well, yeah, and you know, one thing I will say this: when you get caught up in your emotions, this is what happens. I mean, there's a lot going on around us. I mean, I've been reading the newspaper and the violence that's taking place. I mean, besides the abortion issue, what about the crime issue? Individuals killing each other. I mean, I just mentioned it. Well, you and Jenny and nobody else was on this panel, and Mel and Big Body. It was a road rage incident on I-20 in Atlanta where a sister got out and shot another 17-year-old in the face.
God damn.
Like that's taking place.
But see, that makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what got these people feeling so comfortable to where you can just get out in your car and shoot somebody. Like, I mean, who's making this shit comfortable for people to feel they can just do this?
The thing is, nobody thinks it's shocking no more. It's just like everyday life. You know, nobody's paying just because it happens every single day.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, man. Last week I had a trucker almost run me and my daughter off the road in our car, and when we got up to the stoplight. And when we got up to the stoplight and I parked, I got out the fucking car and went up to his window and told him to get his ass out of his truck so I could beat his fucking face in.
Oh, you about to get... Wow.
I was about to beat shit out of him right there at the red light.
Well, here's the thing. You gotta look at it. Like, what makes him feel like it's okay for him to try to run somebody off the road? Like, my man, you're a federal licensed commercial vehicle operator. Like, you have people's lives in your hand based on what you haul and maneuver on the telly. For
Right.
that man to feel it's okay to run somebody off the road, what the fuck is going through his mind?
Oh man,
You
I
know,
tried. Dude, I was begging that dude to get out his truck. Just get out your truck, please. Get out your truck. You know, but hey, Leon, you remember what was it 2 weeks ago down in where is it, the one at Beach Grove Walmart, because they always have problems at that Beach Grove Walmart.
Yeah,
Dude, that girl that had that shootout right down there in the damn Walmart store. It wasn't even outside in the parking lot. She shot at this other chick right in the store.
Tony
Damn.
Dean sends me all kinds of stuff. There was an old dude that came out of Advanced Auto in Indianapolis and just buying parts, and some dudes shot him. And then they found 3 individuals on 10th Street in Indianapolis, northeast Indianapolis, shot.
Bro, I used to live down there off of 46th and
Hold on, bro.
Primrose, 46th and Keystone, 46th and Caroline, right in the hood, right over there by the State Fairgrounds.
Well, the State Fairgrounds, that's around 38th Street.
No, it's right. It's 46th Street runs right
40
past the
okay,
fairgrounds,
40.
and then
Right.
if you go around the curve, then it curves into I think 38th Street.
Right.
But dude, there were there were people dead. Dude, there was a shooting in that when I lived a shooting around there at least once a week. At least once a week.
Well, it's getting bad. DDT wants to know, Angry Snowman, what state you're in. I'll tell him. He's in my state. Me and Angry Snowman are in the state of Indiana.
Hey,
So
guess
who's
what?
state?
Me and the wife are getting ready to move to Fort Wayne too now.
Well, they just had a shooting in Fort Wayne not too long ago.
Yeah, but Fort Wayne's still actually a nicer city.
It was nicer than Muncie and
Right.
Anderson, and even
Dude,
here in
Anderson. Dude, you know Anderson made number 3 in the least desirable cities in Indiana?
Well, look at Brother Matt lives. Brother Matt lives in Camden, and I've been to Camden too, Brother Matt. You can tell him how Camden is.
I don't want to go nowhere near Camden.
We're talking about Camden, New Jersey.
I don't even want to go nowhere near the state of Jersey. I'm cool. Look, you guys ain't called the garbage state for nothing, bro.
I mean, yeah.
Come on down.
DDT says the girl from the UK can't relate. Yeah, she does. She does a good job. Jenny, she does a good job of presenting her case here.
I
She
get
does.
through a little bit.
Yeah. Well, same thing's happening over there. That's happening over here. Just a little bit more socialist in the UK, brother.
We do it with our little pinky out. That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah, you guys
DDT
think you're
says, I don't
refined
hear
in some
anything
shit.
about Indiana.
Well, see, that's just it, man. Indiana's actually made. If you remember, Indiana made the news because during the coup, when everything was shut down, and they was initially having those first set of riots down in Memorial Square down in Indianapolis. Remember that one girl, that mom got shot in the head by somebody from BLM,
Yeah.
and that made national news. She got shot in the head right in front of her son and her husband, just for saying all lives matter.
Oh, yeah. That was down there by the canal.
Yep.
By the canal, yeah. Dark Knight mentality. Genevieve, speak to where we're heading. I will continue to let these leftists run amok. And DDT says they're very classy in the UK depending on where you live. Well, that's anywhere. I mean, hey, live here in Indiana, we got classy people.
We got
We
ghetto
got
as well. Believe me, we've got ghetto.
As a matter of fact, there's a guy, and he said that he's a YouTuber by the name of King Riches. He said that too. He's from the UK, and I believe Antisocial Socialite said the same thing.
We
So-
just hide it better.
Ghettos
Don't
are everywhere. I mean,
broadcast
ghettos are everywhere. I don't care where you are in any part of the world. You're going to have ghettos there. There's going to be people that are doing worse off than others. I mean, it's just the way it is.
We have chavs. We have chavs. That's what we call these certain young ladies and young men who go out looking for trouble because it's called council housing and violence, or council housing and vodka usually. That's where the trouble is. That's their ghettos, is where the chavs live.
But to be honest with you, to get back to the Roe versus Wade,
Yes, sir.
I'm absolutely ecstatic that these bitches are going to start having to deal with the consequences of their actions and stop getting away with murder willy nilly, going around and just being able to off a kid and say use it as birth control. Because I'm tired of these fucking. I'm tired of these same old talking point arguments. Well, what about incest? What about grape? What about this? What about that? All these what ifs, these only account to maybe, I'm going to be nice and generous, 5% of all abortions in America. 5%. So what's your excuse for the other 95%? Other than the simple fact that you don't want to take responsibility for your own actions, but when you decide that you want to have a kid, if a dad doesn't want to take responsibility, piss on him. He should have had some dick discipline, right?
Absolutely. Shout out to Latin Patriot in the building. EDT Inc. Well, it's not true that some countries in Europe, it's not true. If I can read that, I got my glasses on, so excuse me. It's not true that some countries in Europe that do have a lot of poor people have no ghettos, like Finland and Norway.
They've got them. They've got them.
I
bet
you.
Don't get it broadcasted as much.
Yeah. Why don't you go over there and ask the people in the ghetto if they're in the ghetto?
The thing is, with abortions and things like that, there's no need for it if you take the precaution in the first place. Stop being lazy. Stop having these quick knee tremblers and alleys when you come out of a pub or a club. Take responsibility for your actions. Prevention first. Start saying no. Keep your legs closed. I'm not going to blame the men, because the men can, put it bluntly, wank off if they want it. It's the women who are the oven. They're
right.
the ones.
They're the arbiters of that.
Yeah.
They're the
ones who are producing these girls. These babies.
Go ahead, Brother Mel.
Because there's not a lot of women that's being raped. Like, they keep making it seem like it is. You know what I'm saying? Or we just don't know because they're not reported in it. But even though so, like, you can't put women in those categories at the same as women that's actually choosing to want to have abortion or willy nilly, because they know who they abort babies from anyway. They pick and choose. I'm gonna keep this baby depending on the guy they're having the baby from.
Right. And you bring up a good point though. I almost wonder if that ain't why they was trying to push the whole rape culture as hard as they were for the last decade. To try and justify them using that as a reason to keep abortion around.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you realize, I think they. I remember seeing Fresh and Fit with Rolo. They had a video where it was actually deciphering that a lot. The government would ask some people some questions when it came to rape, and the way they switched the questions would make it seem like this actually happened, as in they asked him a question as in, okay, have you had a bad sexual experience?
Mm-hmm.
They say yes. They were added to as in. To a woman that actually was in a sexual assault situation. So tell me, there's a difference between a woman having a bad sexual experience or even an uncomfortable one versus a woman that actually was raped and stuff. You could just have a bad sexual experience as, okay, it was just whack sex, or you just felt uncomfortable when it almost happened and then it just decided not to do it and stuff because, there's an uncomfortable level. But something that's when it's forced, when he forced himself onto you, and inside of you, that's not the same.
The thing is, in England as well, if you're raped and you go to the hospital to be examined, you are automatically given the morning after pill. Whether you want it or not, you are given the morning after pill to prevent the pregnancy developing from a rape. So they can't always use rape as an excuse. If you reported it, you are automatically, that's one of the first things they will do.
Yeah, they got that here too, right? Yeah,
I don't know if they have it here, Mel. I never heard of it here. I mean,
no, I've not heard of it. Yeah, I think they do have it here. Yeah, I think the fact is, like, most cases of rape victims, they don't actually report their rape. Yeah, I'm having a debate on Fresh and Fit about that. Like, the girl that was on there, she was actually raped, and she had to school some females that's on there who try to say they were raped, but they wasn't. I was actually raped, and I didn't report it because I was that much fucked up in my head because it was from a friend that she thought it was a friend of hers, and when it actually happened, It's true. Most rape victims don't report they rape because they don't expect it to happen like
Mm.
that.
I mean,
That's-
I said that you can have the morning after pill for rape, but I could have unprotected sex tonight, and I could go to any pharmacy tomorrow and ask for the morning after pill, and we get it.
Yeah,
No questions asked, and it's free.
yeah.
So again, another way of preventing it. If you've gone to a club and you've had unprotected sex, you can take it. I believe it's up to 48 hours after unprotected sex.
Mm-hmm.
Now, dark night
Um,
mentality.
So
Let me hit this comment right quick. Let's not let the left's talking points distract us. This isn't about women's health, rape, or any of the other disingenuous arguments to make. They want to be able to do what they want, no question. How about tackling what Dark Knight mentality just said? Jenny, you're up. That you were in the middle of the sentence.
no, I was just stating about the morning after pill. So
Yeah.
I wanted just to
Now,
make
now let me ask you something. Now, I sound a little crazy about that. What is that morning after pill supposed to do?
basically it
It
it's
stops the cell divide.
yeah it's it will destroy any I believe I mean I'm not 100% sure, but I think it dissolves any semen,
Mm-hmm.
and so it does something to the egg, any eggs what are present. So
Yeah, it won't
basically it will
fertilize.
stop fertilization.
Yeah.
Because
It counteracts the act of fertilization. So
right. Because the reason why I asked the question, because you mentioned, Jenny, that there's some individuals out there who are lazy. Okay. You know what they're going to tell you about using any type of contraception or pill? They're going to say, well, it gives me side effects. I know that excuse always comes
Or
out.
it's too expensive.
let me tell you
Right.
something.
But
Let me
there
tell
is
you
side
something.
effects, which it also tells the women, you know what? Be more responsible with your sexuality anyway, period. Okay? Because you know
I
what? If
agree.
you don't want to take the birth control, then you know what? Get married. Get
You do
married
not
first
have
and then have
to.
sex.
You don't have to pump yourself full of chemicals.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I've got 2 children. Both were planned. I have never taken birth control in my life.
See?
I use the method of knowing when my period was due, when I was likely to fall pregnant, abstaining from sex for that week. I mean, there are other ways to please your man without having to have sex.
Amen,
And
sister. That is a redhead trait right there. I swear to God, because my wife the same way.
and I have never had any false alarms or nothing. So that is total bullshit when a woman says, "Oh, I don't want to put chemicals in my body." It's not the chemicals you've got to worry about, love. It's the penis.
Well, they're not thinking about that. That's the problem.
Because I mean, if a woman be on birth control for so long, taking the pill, yeah, it will have an effect on her sexual
It does.
after she gets off of it and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like,
My
yo,
sis-
that should tell you shouldn't be on birth control for so long. You should be responsible for your sexual.
My
That was-
sister-in-law, she took the birth control pill, and when she married my brother, they tried for 3 years. She gave up the pill a week before her wedding,
Mhm.
and 3 years it took them to get a child. And they said it was because of all the stuff in those pills was still present in her body.
See?
So, but you, like I said, there are other things. You try saying no once in a while. I mean, I'm not talking about married women. Married women don't say no. But, I mean, if you're in a club, you can have fun with the guy, but it doesn't
Hey,
mean
hold
you've
on,
got
hold
to
on,
have
hold on,
sex.
hold on, hold on.
Go
Can
ahead,
you
brother.
say that? Can you say that one more time? Married women, what?
Married women don't say no to their husbands. That's one of the perks of being married, you see. See, you put a ring on her finger first, and then she can't say no.
Exactly.
You know,
That's a fact.
it's funny. It's funny that we talking about the club. A number of these babies are made from the club too, because after the club they go right to the hotel and smash and dash after they've been all liquored up. without thinking about the consequences. And the next thing you know, Shanique was calling Jaquan and say, "Hey, Jaquan, I think I'm, or Jawan, I'm pregnant." You get that scary call. But when it comes to this issue, particularly when it comes to men here in this country, we're always the ones that have to be responsible. That's the issue. Now, what Angry Snowman says, yeah, about time that they're going to hold women accountable, but they're going to try to find some way to weasel themselves out.
Well, there's going to be those blue states that are going to keep, abortion legal anyhow. Yeah, we already know that. Pretty much all the West Coast, all the East Coast, and
Illinois,
Illinois, and a good portion of the South.
Mm-hmm. A good portion of the South. Like what? Georgia,
Florida, Georgia, Mississippi.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on out there, and people don't know that. Now, something else I want to talk about, because I know I hear it in this space, and we talk about jobs, the dating with dating blue collar brothers. Now, has anybody ever had a blue collar job? I have one.
Of course.
Okay. Now, Mel, you're from.
I have never dated a blue collar brother.
No, well, I know you haven't, but there are a number of women.
That too. I ain't never dated, but I am a blue collar worker.
Well, there are a number of because I heard, and shout out to Obsidian on this. I heard it on his show that a number of your average every day, and particularly this is the BW. They don't want blue collar brothers. They want the so-called brothers that make a lot of money. I'm not going to use the term.
No, they want a man that doesn't exist.
Go ahead and elaborate.
Let's keep it real. They want a man that does not exist. They want a man with a chiseled jaw who's 6'2", who has, razor sharp abs and, makes 7 figures and has a mansion and 2 summer homes and drives a Bugatti or rides a Bugatti and has a Maserati and, a couple Lambos and will sit and basically hand the money left over, hand over fist to just lay around and do whatever it is these, pole dancers do.
Now, what have the women got to offer? Bargain bucket, what every man's had their fingers in.
They want a man that literally does not exist. I mean, think about it. Most women in America, if you think about it, they are always looking for the next best thing. Always. Right. And I'm not saying all, but most women in America are like that. They are never happy with what they got. They're happy with it while they have to be happy with it. But if another opportunity comes along that's better than what they have with the man they're with, they will most generally always take it.
Now, Gerald 28 says, I had the philosophy of dating with a purpose. I don't waste my time on women who play games and don't share my core values. It keeps me out of a lot of trouble. And DDT says he's right. American women are the worst. Well, and Brother Angry Snowman, Brother Mel, you could probably elaborate on this. And I know Jenny could probably elaborate on this as well, since she lives in England. That's another country that is well developed. But don't you believe that some of this American feminism is spreading to other countries?
Definitely.
They saying that, yeah.
I heard Brother Guy King last week say, hey, yeah, he went to the Caribbean, and he's seeing the same thing down there in the Caribbean. And, it used to be the passport brothers, but when you go to other countries, they're running into the same obstacles that they have here. Now, DDT says he's in the Asian girls, but the Middle East, it hasn't really gotten there yet, or Asia. But when you go to, I'm going to say the 4 developed countries: Australia, America, England, and Canada. That's where you have most of the cancer is.
I think Asian women know their place.
Okay.
Some of them.
Well, yeah.
It's still spreading over there, but it's just not in the detriment of how it is.
Well, most of them
on America, Western.
Most of them, the Eastern women, they're perfectly fine until they come to America and get introduced into American culture. Once they get introduced to American culture, that changes them forever. They're ruined.
Yeah, they'll take certain parts of feminism, but they're not going to fully indoctrinate themselves on it because they already know the fact they fully indoctrinate themselves into it's going to be detrimental for them.
Now, speaking of feminism, now I've always said this. You have a number of individuals, and I've been to college, and what I've seen, some of these college professors who are in the American universities came from countries that had communism, but they brought that communism with them, and they've indoctrinated a lot of these girls with feminism. And this started back in the 60s. I'm talking about when they got full steam into it. Now, it was back there in the 1800s as well, but it really got its full steam in the late 60s and 70s. And you look at the type of civilization that we have now, where you have not misogyny, but you have misandry that's been intertwined in the feminism. And of course, you have some men who will also follow feminism as well.
Those aren't men. Those aren't men. Quit putting them in that category.
What do you call
Hip-hop boys and age of
No, I'm talking about
boys?
these supposed girls that pretend to be boys that are feminists.
Oh,
they're not men. They're not men.
the he she
You can't. No, you can't be a male feminist. I'm sorry.
Those types.
You're not a man.
The
Quit-
dirty
quit
Maccas.
What you are.
That's what they are.
What you are is a simp, simping for the most undesirable women in America. Not even realizing that you don't have to simp for them. We've given them to you already because we don't desire them. Have them.
Well, I noticed, and let's just be clear, and I've seen some of the videos out there, the feminist women, particularly the ones on the left, they're horrible looking. They're the ones they have the most to say. They think they know more, but at the end of the day, they hide behind that education, and many of them aren't very educational or smart when they deal with the real world. That's the problem. They have delusional lives and they're walking contradictions. Let's just be honest.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. America has got women. Look, I don't know what.
Go ahead and say it, brother.
I don't understand what fantasy world they live on where they think that they got life so bad when all they got to do is go out and basically trick some guy into getting them pregnant, and now they have their housing taken care of for them. They got their food taken care of for them. They got their bills taken care of for them. They got their education taken care of for them. Everybody's paying for everything. They don't have to be accountable for nothing. Everyone else is held accountable for their mistakes because, they're a woman. Rah, hear me roar. I'm a feminist. Fuck you with that bullshit. You've had every opportunity given to you, but yet you still want to blame everyone else for why your life's all messed up. I'm sorry, that shit just don't fly anymore, and that is an American problem right there. That is a legit American problem. There are a lot of fucking women, and excuse my French,
Go ahead, brother.
In this country that do not realize how much is literally given to them, how much opportunity is given to the female class of people in America.
Right.
They have life handed to them, opportunity handed to them on a silver goddamn platter, and then want to blame other people when they don't use it.
And a lot of them, what advantages do they got when it comes to education? They got Title IX, affirmative action. Okay, I don't get affirmative action, and I'm a black man. I don't get affirmative action. They're at the front of the bus. They are.
They have entitlements even in the workplace. What other group of people can just walk into HR and say, "Hey, that guy over there sexually harassed me," and cost somebody their job just by their words?
Well, that's true too. They can basically,
but yet they're underpaid and undervalued, and they work for they make 80 cents to every dollar that a man makes. Man, go take that shit somewhere else to someone who actually gives a shit about your stupid pseudoscience.
It's only sexual harassment when the man's ugly, though, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, all these leftist, feminist movements are all literal walking contradictions.
yeah, that's exactly what I said. Hey, brother Clue, welcome to the channel, brother. Blue is in the building.
You better run. You got busted.
I know. I should be asleep.
That's all right. It's what is it? 2 o'clock over there, or 1 o'clock over there?
1:30.
Oh well, it's well the rest of us were in the Eastern time zone, 8:30 here. So, but yeah, I do hear that, and there is information with some of these feminists about trying to get women into STEM, and the only reason why they're doing that is to get men out of STEM, because many women don't go into STEM.
Well, look, for one, look at it like this. Why is it that when it comes to even with feminists,
Yeah,
and this quote unquote gender pay gap, why is it that the only thing they talk about is the top 1% of 1% jobs that make the most money in America? How come they don't have that kind of they don't go that hard on any trade jobs like being a pipe fitter, or being an electrician, or being a roofer or a welder, or working for the water company in town, and being a water purifier down in the sewers, or being a demo person, or any of the a coal miner, for Christ's sake, working on an oil rig? How come none of that shit matters? Because they all make good money too at the top. But none of that shit matters. They don't want to deal with that. All they want to complain about is not being, equally represented in the corporate office area of America.
Well, that's true, but they're not going to do, and we'll get into the corporate versus the blue collar, because, I work blue collar, and, it's funny that you say that, Brother Angry Snowman, because even in the construction industry, and I do construction inspection, we don't have that many women. They don't want to do that kind of work. And the ones that are out,
you'll be lucky if you find one on a job being part of the cleanup crew, most generally.
well, you know what the ones that have the job in the construction industry do when they're out in the field? They're the ones holding the sign, the stop and the slow. They're holding that paddle all day, and they're getting good money for it, because you got to be certified to hold that paddle. Many of them aren't they're not hitting that concrete. I mean today I had to go down in the trench and do some inspection work.
Hey, how many top earner female cement workers have you ever seen? Top earners female truck drivers. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, dude. They sit and claim that they want equal representation in this country, and they don't. They don't want equal nothing. They want to be at the top of the top, and that's it. That's it. Again, and that's an issue with American feminism. I don't know what it's like over where you're at, Jenny, or anywhere else.
Jenny,
all I can go by is what I've watched in my 30 years of cognitive reasoning of what's been going on around me. I'm 43, but I'll give it 30 years that I've been paying a little bit more attention as the years go on. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I see it in America. Feminism has done nothing but actually destroy everything that this country once stood for. And
yeah, it is, and it's contradictory, because okay, do these feminists really take up for women? Hell no. Do they take up for little girls? Hell no.
No, they don't. I mean, you can see after the second wave, the start of the third wave, that's when you saw the feminist versus feminist, when they tried to force people to accept women's sexuality, especially the contraception of porn and stuff like that, and being a woman that's in the porn industry, and they feel like I shouldn't be slut shamed. That's when they really fought against each other. Like, that's when you saw like, yo, y'all ideology's not matching up now in between each other.
Hey, dude, I'll be 100 with you, Mel. My daughter gets old enough that she starts trying to walk out the house looking like a slut. She's going to get slut shamed in her own house before she walks out the door and gets slut shamed straight up, because I ain't having it.
Exactly. You got the old school liberal old school conservative feminists be like, yo, why you better make yourself lower to a man's sexual object and everything? And you got the liberal feminists like, I should be a sexual object if I want. It's empowering. That's the start of the slut walk during
Well, look, dude, even that is a walking contradiction. Don't look at me like I'm a piece of meat and this, that, and the other while I'm dressed so scantily clad that all you're going to do is look at me like I'm a fucking piece of meat.
And
What are you talking about, woman?
They got this new thing now on TikTok talk about called bimbolism.
What?
Yep, shout out to my friend.
Explain that to me, Mel.
Who exposed that. Now they got chicks that's like trying to fight the right to be bimbos and not be judged. I'm like, this chick was on there. She was on the TikTok video talking about, yeah, that's a right to be pretty and dumb. And if I want to steal from these dudes and stuff like that, drug them and everything, that should be a right too. But like, you just now fighting for the right to commit a crime now.
You know, it's funny that you say that, Mel, because I got this show that's coming on. I don't know what this woman on there, 10 Ways to Lose a Guy or something like that, and to see all this bullshit
Just
that's
open
coming.
the mouths.
Yeah, well, you know, all of them. And listen, a number of them, and this is just my humble opinion, they got penis envy. They want to be like us without the responsibility. They want to join everything that we've already created. To me, if you want to be equal, join your own, create your own without being subsidized by any type of program. Look at the Wnba. That's subsidized by the NBA. What is this one? And I hate this soccer player. She needs to be bitch slapped. Megan Rapinoe with that pink hair. She's complaining that she doesn't get paid enough. Well, the USA soccer team, I believe it was the women's soccer team, they got beat by some teenagers. And you talking about getting the same pay as men?
So now they're bitching just like the WNBA was bitching, right?
They
Yeah.
don't realize that their pay comes from the fans. If you're not bringing in the fan base that buying tickets like that to go to your shows, you're not going to be able to get more money that way. You're not bankable that way. Can't just that's why delusional these females are in these industries. Like, yo, you don't get paid just a second getting paid. No, the NBA gets paid because more people, men and women, like going to NBA games. They don't like going to WNBA games like that. You know what I'm saying? No man wants to see women compete like that.
And I disagree.
That's why they get paid the money they are getting. You only juice people for so much money that they can, but if you're not bringing in the rate of return like that, you know what I'm saying? Like you think it is, like nah, you're not gonna get paid like that. Yeah, men and women will buy LeBron James sneakers and stuff more than got a female sneakers and stuff for Nike like that. Yeah, so that's why he gets paid the more money he does.
Look, and no, there's no such thing as a reasonable feminist. They don't exist.
Oh, you see that?
They do not exist. Anytime, look, as soon as a woman starts saying that she's equal to a man, she's already went down the wrong path. Because men and women are not equal at all whatsoever in no shape or form or fashion at all.
Totally agree.
Salute Brother D-Rock then. Brother Clue says it's already been proven that the best WNBA team can't beat an average high school boys team. Wow, that's harsh.
Well, yeah, because what is it? The NBA, basically all these men's sports franchises are the ones that are paying, upwards to half of the revenue, or half of the not the revenue, but the pay that goes out to all these female sports teams.
Exactly.
Yet all these females are bitching that they want equal pay. How are you going to get equal pay when your counterpart is actually what's his work and the revenue stream that he's bringing in is what's paying you.
Exactly.
Shout out to Gerald28. I heard there's a huge boycott against Subway right now for sponsoring Megan Rapinoe. God, I can't stand that.
Who's that?
I can't stand Subway.
Player. She's the let's just be honest. She's the dykey psyche soccer player with the pink hair. Feminists, they love all the different color hair and you know where I'm going with this.
What's wrong with feminists wanting equal rights is because they're not equal to men. Women are not equal to men. We are not the same creatures. Everything about us is 100% opposite. We don't even think on the same level.
No, we don't. And that's why these feminists are actually, I call them CNC, contradictory and crazy.
If we were equal to men, we would have been created at the same time as man. We came from Adam.
And what it is, too, somebody mentioned something about the so-called, they're dressing like a slut. You're never going to change a man's biology. Okay.
Hey, don't say that though, Jenny. You'll have the Black Queen losing her fucking mind right now if you say that woman came from man, because the Black Queen created all.
Yeah.
There's only one time there's any black in me, and I'm not even going there.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just
now-
saying.
Shout out to Gerald 28. Going back on your point of the WNBA, brother Angry Snowman. The WNBA has never turned a profit since it was formed back in 1997. And there
Right.
was wow.
They're lucky they're still around.
That's because they're being subsidized by the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. Any other business model that has had a 20+ year continued loss, I'm sorry, they're filing bankruptcy on that shit and shutting it down. Now, they ain't going 25+ years, and this is just so women can feel special and equal, because they're out there playing professional sports. And look, even when you give them something and you have their male counterpart subsidizing the cost of it so they can do it and feel like they're important and equal, that's not good enough.
And it's almost like
They always want more.
And Brother Angus, no, man, that's a form of redistribution of wealth, because what happens is if you want to go to a basketball game, then the ticket prices are raised, so some of that money could go to the WNBA to keep it running. The bottom line is, and
Look, honestly, as much as I love my wife and the fact that she makes good money and everything, the truth of the matter is, you can call me, misogynist or whatnot. You can say I'm a chauvinist, which I'm not ashamed of that I am. But the truth of the matter is there are certain things that women are good at. They're good at being wives. They're good at being mothers. They're good at being teachers.
oh, that's a fact.
They're good at being caregivers.
Now, many of them,
that's where women are supposed to rock.
Feminine
Right.
roles.
yeah, right. Because we're the guys out there, okay, we are supposed to do the hard work. Like, I don't mind going down there in that trench, getting dirty. That's what I do. We're the ones who are the engineers. Okay, you have some women who are doctors, veterinarians. That's fine. But what it is, they need to form their own alliance so they can have their own corporations to compete. See, they don't want to compete. They want what's already there. That's their problem. That's why I say feminism is a joke, because it really doesn't do anything but give women this.
It pushes a divide, an unnecessary one.
Well, it gives them this illusional power through government so they can use the system when they get in trouble. They talk
Right.
about independent, but in the end, they're not independent. They're weak, and they
Right.
haven't grown up.
I mean, Leon, how many women in America do you know of? Let's just say on your Facebook page alone over the years that you've seen put, I'm a strong, single, independent mother, but has a boyfriend living there, is living in subsidized housing, is getting welfare, and is going to college on government grants while the government pays for her child care on top of it.
Well, and many of them are going to college.
No, I'm just saying, how many women do you say are saying that I'm a strong, independent, single woman while having all of these handouts that I just laid out
Well,
given to them and benefiting from them while they're actually making that statement?
it's quite a bit of them. Now, Brother Angry Snowman, you can give me the information on the white population, but a number of African American women, they do that, and they do that as a defense mechanism.
White
Make
women do
themselves-
it too, bro.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Sorry.
Because I'm going to tell you what's going to come up, which is going to bother me the most. Now, this week is Mother's Day, and it's okay. But when Father's Day comes up, this is when you're going to hear it in our community that I'm the mother and the father. You are not the father.
You know what?
Yeah, you remember 2 years ago, feminists tried to.
And close to Mother's Day.
Well, look, dude, 2 years ago, if you recall, the feminists tried to actually cancel Father's Day.
Yes, they did.
Any work?
No, it didn't
You
work
know,
at all.
and that's just it. There's a difference and even if you want to go down, replying to DDT Inc., even if you want to go down the road of having equality and you want to walk that road, this is not equality when you're wanting all the credit for stuff that you didn't even do, and then you're wanting to try and literally, lawfully remove any kind of credit given to people that actually do the shit.
That's
You know,
well, they don't want responsibility anyway, brother Angry Snowman. Shout out to Clue. The results are in. You are not the father.
Can
All
I
right,
right? I
just
mean,
tell you
go ahead.
about the schools here?
Okay.
They will actively get the children to make Mother's Day cards, gifts, and everything.
Mhm.
But no school ever does a Father's Day cards and that lot. We
they
were
don't hear either, and
basically told that it's because most of the children don't have dads.
well, see here what they do. They say because Father's Day falls during summer vacation. Most kids aren't in school here when Father's Day happens because Father's Day is in June, and that's
Yeah.
summer vacation. But like you said, they make sure mothers are recognized.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and that's
And
that's
the
the
biggest
thing.
thing is, look at the biggest revenue. It's going to come from Mother's Day. Now, what about Father's Day? What's a father going to get? Something to
Hey,
work with,
look,
like a drill or something? I don't know.
my wife basically gets screwed because our anniversary, her birthday, and Mother's Day all fall within the same 2 weeks, so she gets one gift.
But I remember one time Obama, he was saying that all you fathers need to stay with the mothers. He didn't say anything to the mothers. And shout out to RBR. He liked Obama, but that one comment he said, that kind of just drove me away from Obama. And that started right there. I mean, a number of men, particularly African American men, were already simping.
Well, look, Leon, if you
It
think
worked.
about it,
Yes.
in all honesty, when Obama first came out as an unknown, freshman senator from Chicago, a freshman senator,
Yeah.
right, and threw his hat in the ring and started talking, he really sold that whole idea because that's all it was an idea that was never fulfilled of a change you can believe in.
That's true. Salute, brother Osama. He's in the building.
He had people believe that this change was going to be something that benefited us. And if you look, I've had a lot of people try and tell me that I'm racist for even saying this. But if you look, even racial tensions in this country, we're starting to really level out until Obama got elected.
Oh, that's a
year
fact.
number 2 after Obama was in office, the whole race baiting and America being the most racist country since the civil rights all started getting moved into fucking fruition, dude. He's the one that started that train down the tracks.
No, that's why.
And for the life of me, I will never understand that. It'll never make sense to me, because prior to that, we would have these discussions. Whites and blacks. When you guys going to stop complaining about yada 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 and accept things for how it is? And you'd be like, well, when I see a black president, that's when, motherfucker.
All right, we got a comment to address. DDT says Obama, and he has a right to his opinion. Obama's on this top 3 presidents list in America.
The only people Obama worked tirelessly for was the LGBTQRSYZ community. That's it.
That's a fact. Brother Osama coming with the smoke. Clue, you can take the best 5 women basketball players on the planet, and they wouldn't be able to beat a lower level men's JV team.
Yo, I seen this scene from this basketball game I was playing, and one of the chicks weaved out while she was dribbling the ball, and she went back to get her weave.
What?
Extension attachment. Yeah, while she was still playing the game. I'm like, her weave extension came out of her hand. She dropped the ball, went back to go get the weave to play the game. I'm like, this is why these dudes don't go to female basketball games like this. It's like, yo.
Ouch. Yeah, I hear you, Clue.
During the the Women's World Cup football, or soccer, as you say,
Yes.
there was a survey actually, because the attendance levels are dropped considering what the men's supporters were. And they were asked why. And do you know what one of the top comments was? Who wants to go and see a bunch of butch women running around thinking they're men? He said, I'd rather pay money and go to the park and watch feminine women in dresses playing with kids. And that was what they said. They said they don't want to watch. They said they're good at the football, but they said they would not pay to watch a bunch of butch women running around on a pitch. They said,
Hell no, we want to see them play volleyball, damn it.
Well,
I've seen volleyball.
Now you know who Megan Rapinoe is. She looks like one of those butches
She
you're
does.
talking about.
Yeah, she was the one who refused to. She knelt for the national anthem or turned her back or something, wasn't it, on the flag or some bullshit stuff.
Brother Osama bringing more smoke. A WNBA All-Star team would be lucky to score 25 points on a solid high school varsity team.
Damn, that's ouch, dude. You're coming at them hard.
Okay, this is for us, Brother Angry Snowman. DDT says, I respect your opinions, but one thing you can't deny, Obama, he was intelligent, well-spoken man. Yeah,
So was Hitler.
you can be well-spoken, but still don't know how to get the job done.
Yeah,
Obama did not know how to get the job done.
No, he got the job done that he was put in there to do. He was the perfectly trained, well-spoken Manchurian candidate.
Right, and he dealt with racism, massive opposition.
That motherfucker didn't deal with half of the shit that look, I'm not a Trump supporter, and quit making me defend that, orange Cheeto bastard, man. Straight up. But damn, nobody has ever got attacked like Trump got attacked. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. I mean, Trump is the only president to date that is alive that still isn't respected enough to be referred to by President Trump or former President Trump when he's being addressed by people in the media or the public. Even us citizens don't even call him President Trump or former President Trump. His whole presidency, we called him Trump.
And hell, he was the only one that got his Twitter account deleted from a major platform.
I mean, so really you want to go there? You do realize that Obama would have never got elected if it wasn't for white people.
Fact. And then let's be honest, Angry Snowman. Look at the opponents he ran up against. I mean, you think Mitt Romney was any good? He sucked. Do you think McCain, rest in peace, he was a lousy candidate?
Hey, look, dude, I'll be honest with you. Obama's first term, I did vote for him, but I'm not even gonna bullshit. After I saw what was going down, first year, then year 3, then year 4. Don't you remember when he said, "I'm not going to raise anybody in the middle class's taxes, not a single dime"? Remember that statement Obama made? And then it wasn't even 2 weeks later, he raised our taxes by 3%.
Now it's funny that you say that, and you know who I'm going to bring up, Brother Angry Snowman. Brother RBR won't even believe us. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Mel, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, so yeah, Obama was very well spoken. He was really good at getting us to. He convinced us that there was a change we could believe in happening. And you know what? We should have believed him when he said there's going to be a change, because God damn it, he changed this country, and it was not for the better in no way, shape, or form. I mean, think about it. There was a black man in office, and the racist, oppressive government of America, there was a black man running the country. Yet we're still the most racist place in the country, according to some people.
Yeah. And
wrap that around your head.
It makes absolutely no sense. And Men's Daily says, I don't see any women out there on the power lines or working in toxic waste dump centers,
right?
Heart surgeons, but yet they want equal pay for non-dangerous jobs that don't make real money.
Look, man, even white men, racist white men in America decided they would rather have a ninja in office that played basketball and went out and got a stretch Escalade on 28s with spinners than have a woman in office.
Right.
A white woman at that.
Shout out to, and hadn't seen her in a long time, welcome Cindy Floss to the building. She says Obama was weak and he made nobody look smart. Brother Clue says he still calls Trump president. Shout out to you, Brother Clue. Osama coming with some smoke. Again, if you ever heard of Shamiqua Holdsclaw, she was a consistent WNBA All-Star. Yes, I've heard of her. She used to play at Run and Shoot here in PG County against the boys 20 years ago. That's a fact. DDT says, you're kidding. Obama addressed the British Parliament and made them look stupid.
Obama also went to another country and bowed to another leader, and that's something no president has ever done.
He was no leader, in my opinion. Osama, she wasn't even as good as the mid-level men's JV player. Osama coming with that smoke tonight. And Brother Davis, Trump was the establishment losing control for a brief moment. And of course, Gerald said most people voted for Trump. Who voted for Trump voted for Obama.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. And
people who voted for Obama first term a lot of them did vote for Trump, because look, that's what Obama really was for a lot of white folks in America when they made that vote too. We were trying to change the direction of things in this country. Things have been we're already still too politicized. Why not give a rookie who is a rookie in politics? And that's what Obama really was at that time. He was a freshman senator from Illinois.
That's facts. Now, Cindy Flaw says, why don't women buy WNBA jerseys to wear? They always buy NBA men's jerseys. And that money goes right back to the NBA. Facts.
And I'll be honest with you. I even remember the night that he won the election, and it was almost like this rush of happiness came over me, even like, sweet, finally, America's got to a place to where we can actually move in the direction that a lot of people have been trying to push us now.
Right.
And I'm sure a lot of brothers and sisters felt that same way that night. Finally, something we never thought we would see happen, we got to witness with our own eyes.
Yeah,
I mean, every one of us are a part of American history that got to witness that. And look at where, dude, that moment of, happiness and solace and it almost felt like maybe we can bring some finality to all this divide and hate in this country. It all got fucking just glossed over by a bunch of nonsense and bullshit and made worse. How does that work? How does that work?
Well, it works because he made everybody feel good based on how he was speaking. He was at one time the great Messiah. I mean, it was a lot of worship. I mean, you had, I forgot his name. He was on MSNBC. He had thrills coming up his leg. I can't remember that reporter's name, but he worked for NBC. And Brother Sama, just being honest, there's a huge difference between men and women in basketball. Clue says facts. Shout out to Brother D-Rock Den in the building. Facts.
Hey, Big Nate's out there too.
Oh, Big Nate.
Brother Nate up. Dog.
Come on up. We want you on the panel.
I heard about the situation with Dave Chappelle.
Big Nate in the building. We got it hitting here hard. Yeah, and everybody shout out to Brother Nate. Get over there, subscribe to his channel. He's on every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Get on over there, stream Brother Angry Snowman's channel as
dude.
Well.
I'm in jail right now.
Again?
Yeah, dude, they fucking hate me, dude. And look, bro, they got me for something. They gave me a strike for something I did a month ago.
Chris Matthews, that's right. Thank you, brother.
Did you appeal it?
Brother, little bit.
Yeah, but they never overturned my appeals. Ever. Now it's for misinformation in general. You ever notice all my content strikes are always for misinformation? Well, how do you know this is misinformation? How is it misinformation? Look, dude, now they said because what I played was a news clip from Newsmax and then another one from OAN. That's misinformation.
Hey, did you put up the fair use sign?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it was misinformation because I used the wrong news reporting agency.
Listen, Brother Angry Snowman, I had that same problem over reporting something that went back almost 2 years. I appealed it, got it back. Shout out to Brother Gerald 28. I can remember the night Obama won. I was 21 and still a Democrat at that time. I felt all that hope and change nonsense. Yeah, he
You gotta tell Snowman your secret after the show.
Nah, DDT, I want you to understand there's no so we actually encourage people that lean other directions and disagree to be here and partake.
Yeah,
I mean,
we do.
that is how open discussion is had, man. We're not supposed to agree on everything.
No, but we got to have people that make some sense too now, okay?
Well, we got to have people that are willing to have a discussion even if they disagree.
Certainly.
You gotta see, someone reported your page or willy-nilly and it was something this happened.
Dude,
Right.
somebody's always reporting me. Look, man, I have a bad habit of going places and, just trolling in the chat and, making a couple, one or two word comments in the chat to get everyone triggered and roll out.
All right. Shout out to Men's Daily Advice. Get over to Men's Daily Advice's channel. Who else has a channel? Get over to Jenny B's channel. Get over to Celine's channel. In the chat, everybody with wrenches. Help
Hey, BMT finally unblocked me.
Who?
BMT finally unblocked me,
He's still
man.
around?
Yeah, he still got his channel, but he finally unblocked me.
He was the one that brought you over. Oh, okay. Right.
Actually, I talked to him tonight over on A Truism's stream for the minute.
Truism, yeah. Good
For the
brother.
minute that Trey would let anybody but him talk.
Oh, good brother. Shout out to Men's Daily. Trump had zero experience in politics. I say he needs to stay in his lane and stick to dealing with big money and big business, real estate, and the apprentice. Politics is not a strong area. Shout out to you, Men's Daily. That is facts. However, here's what I am going to say. I just felt a different economic boom when he was in office because a lot of the regulations that were in place, he got rid of.
But he wasn't a politician. He was a businessman, and that's what made him so good.
Exactly. It's technically this country's in the part of we technically in business and making money and everything. And technically that's what he did. He made this country some money, but not the way other people on the other side felt like he should do it. Because like I said, I think when he was in reign, he made it a way that China owned us money now. The fuck
You know what? See, my problems were with Trump, and you can ask Brother Leon because he's heard me go over my problems with Trump. Like it's to death. All right, and my problems with Trump are different than the majority of most people's problems with Trump. Yeah, I mean they really are. Yeah. Trump made specific promises, man, that literally was directed and resonated with middle class America.
That's facts. DDT, and if you all can see his comment, I just got these new glasses here, so I'm trying to do better at reading everything. Your whole getting nothing done applies to Obama and Biden because Republicans won't pass anything they want. Well,
that isn't just Republicans, dude. That shit goes both ways, man. When a Republican president's in office, Democrats won't let nothing go through. When a Democrat's in office, Republicans won't go through. And that's because our government and the people that are in government, they're not in there for us. Let's keep shit real. They're in there just trying to make everything stall and run stalemate and for everything to be constantly fucking filibustered so they don't have to be held accountable to do the shit that they got hired and elected to do. And we're too stupid fighting over shit like, whether or not Trump's, orange enough or not orange enough, and this, that, and the other, whether or not, we keep allowing this shit to happen, folks. You're responsible.
It's like
and look, man, this whole the right, the left, Republican, Democrat, they're both the fucking problem.
Exactly.
Us making politics about team sport shit is another problem.
All right, let me go to the poll right quick. Is this now? Everybody can answer this. Is this country in a culture war? And the culture war is traditionalism versus secularism. I got 26 votes. 88% said yes. 12% said no. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the voting on the poll before I shut this down in another 45 minutes here. 50 minutes.
Liberal versus conservative, traditional versus housewife, left versus right, cis versus trans.
And shout out,
How many can I do?
let me
I
shout
mean-
out to DDT here. And hey, I know this your
Versus Ray Ray.
Well, look, as far as Trump goes, I just want to make it very clear. When Trump won the election, he won by a very, very huge margin. There are a lot of people that voted for that man in this country. A lot of people that voted for that man. And everybody knew goddamn good and well what they were voting for. We all saw what kind of asshole he was on The Apprentice. Plain and simple. We had all seen him throughout life and knew what kind of asshole he was. But the bottom line is the man was really good of either pretending he was a billionaire or being a billionaire. And he actually, look, he did good things for the country as far as the economy goes. I will always give him that. The economy boomed almost immediately when Trump took over.
That's what we vote for, money. Again, let me give a shout out to DDT. This is the first time, and you're always welcome up here on your panel. And just like Angry Snowman said, we do allow disagreements. We're not an echo chamber. You're welcome to make your points. You've made some good points as well. So the problem with the Democratic president is the Republicans will always oppose everything, never let stuff pass. But Democrats are more likely to work with Republican presidents. I say bullshit on that. They do not. I got bullshit. They don't. Shout out to Snowman. Thank you, Brian Davis. Trump DeSantis 2024 from brother Nate. And
boy, that's a scary thought if you think about it, man. That's really, man, that's almost, look, as much as I can give Trump credit for, the economy before the Dems decided they wanted to shut it down with the coof, look, that's scary thinking about giving Trump and DeSantis the reins. Oh, my fucking God, dude. Oh, my God.
Well, now, DDT, and we can address this comment because Republicans are bought by big gas and pharma. They'll never work for people like Democratic presidents. Well, we don't.
Dude, what you need to understand is big pharma, big oil, that they're sitting and lobbying with the Dems too. Look, you really think that these people go into the same building and they're across the halls from each other and there's this great big line drawn in the hallway where they're enemies and shit? That's just for TV, bro. That's just for you and me. That's just to make us think that, they're doing what we elected them to do. You know what? After the cameras go off, them motherfuckers are all high-fiving each other. They're all going out and ordering Chinese and pizza and Korean and shit off our dime and sitting down having dinner together, going out to the strip club and getting lap dances on our dime together.
And
dude, there's a reason why they call them actors.
That's it. And shout out to Awesome Alice in the building. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel and anybody else who has a channel. I wish Angry Snowman get your channel back. Shout out to Jenny V. Shout out to Awesome Alice, her channel as well. And Brother DDT. And again, thank you, Brother DDT, for coming up. You're always welcome. It's good to have a little dissent up here. Have you seen Trump recently? He loves to rant and yell about water pressure and flushing toilets.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's the other reason why I really, really want to get people to maybe possibly reconsidering the whole Trump DeSantis train. Trump he's pushing 80. He's up there. He's up there in age, man. So his mind just might not be as sharp as it was a few years ago. When that shit happens fast. And unless you've dealt with dementia and shit like that with a loved one, you don't understand.
Yeah, it does happen. Awesome Alice. People need to stop worrying about what policies. Back.
Gentlemen, I'm going to drop out. It's 2:00 and I'm going to be going back in the chat. So thank you, Leon, for having me on. And gentlemen, have a good evening.
Hey, thank you, Jenny, for coming up. You're always welcome, and shout out to you. And yeah, you have a pleasant night as well. Everybody get over to Jenny V's channel and subscribe to her as well. All right.
My girl Alice, that's her bae right there.
Other countries respect Trump, so they need him to come back to stop the war. Yeah. But I got room for 3 more in the chat.
No, I think that, really, in all honesty, I think it's time that we start putting middle class America in federal politics and in state politics. Middle class America are the only people that understand and know what middle class America needs. We need to stop putting all these wealthy, trust fund babies and, career politician babies and shit into places. Seriously, we need to stop expecting people that have the wealth of millionaires who have acquired a net worth of millions of dollars, that don't even understand and can even recognize what it is. They can't grasp the reality of what middle class life is. They don't know. They don't understand it. So how the hell will they ever be able to come together on policy that actually reflects middle class America properly? That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Well, shout out to brother. Wow. All right. If you guys want to hit the Cash App, see if you can find it. $LEJ01021965. That's the Cash App. If you want to hit it.
Hey, Leon, did you get your $125 gas check from Holcomb today?
No. Did you get yours?
Yeah, it was in our bank account. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, hey. Alice says, got me a cornbread-fed country boy. He my boo thing. Shout out to him. And shout out to my boy, brother Men's Daily Advice. Hey, welcome to the chat and the panel.
What's up, Men's Daily?
Brother? Yeah,
what's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
All right. And everybody get over there, because I've listened to some of your content. It's hot. Everybody like, share, and subscribe to Men's Daily Advice. Yeah, you got
Do you like trolling YouTube, man?
Oh, he's got some stuff up there that, wow. I probably would have been banned for saying it.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you, man. I appreciate you going to the channel and everything and inviting people over. Yeah, just feel free to come over, like, share, comment. You guys, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for welcoming me back, Mr. 411.
Hey, man, you can call me Leon as well. That's my real name. Yeah, I like if the name gets too long, my government name is Leon, so I'm all right.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. No, I usually call a lot of.
Knows my name, Leon.
Yeah, I call a lot of YouTubers, man, by their nicknames or their channel names, man. So hey,
it was longer than mine. So I call you Men's Daily. So
hey, fellas, I gotta step out, man. Thanks for having me up, man.
Later on, Mel. Take it easy, bro.
Hey, later on, Mel. And,
take it easy, Mel.
All right, bro.
And see you on Nate's panel tomorrow. Shout out to little big Nate. Go to his channel as well.
Always.
Hey, dude, I saw him on Bernard Riley the other day, cammed up for the first time, man. Nate does not look anything like I thought he would look like, man.
Okay.
I swear to God, that is not who I was expecting to see. He's got such an aggressive voice, man, that is not who I was expecting to see.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to make a point on the topic at hand today, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay, got you. So it's on the topic about blue collar workers.
That's one of our points too. Yep, that's one of our topics.
Yeah. So as I talked about on the last stream when I was on, I come from the blue collar trades, man. The skilled trades. I come from the heating and air conditioning, refrigeration, plumbing, electrical, and appliance repair background. Okay.
You got an HVAC man up here.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a strong stationary engineering background dealing with boilers and chiller systems. It's a totally different ball game. That's why.
Oh shit! So you even had small space or confined space permits and all that shit.
Yeah.
When I went to 411's other channel, you guys need to go to his other channel. Trust me. If you want to learn some really cold ass science, man, or physics, man, I'm telling, go to the other channel. Go.
Hey, yeah,
we got a lot in common.
You talking about my QCIS channel? I'm going to go ahead and try to spam that channel in there as well.
Yeah, put that link in there. That channel is really good. I have a background in thermodynamics, though, dealing with hydraulics and pneumatics, man. He's going to cover a lot of that stuff in there. if you guys are into really, really, really deep down stuff. And you got some really good stuff in there.
I believe Angry Snowman was on the panel when I actually, and I know Survivor, he was on my channel as well.
Yes.
When I went on there. So Angry Snowman,
all that stuff. All that stuff's a little past my pay grade, though, that he talks about over there. I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, I'm not a dummy by no means. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm blue collar skilled trades myself. I started out in general construction, siding, roofing, drywall, all that kind of stuff. Worked my way to framing and finished work. Then worked my way into electrical, and then learned how to run data. Fiber optics and shit like that.
That's why I just put it in there. That's my second channel. I go out in the field. I show you how construction operations really work. I'm an inspector for HWC Engineering, and by trade, I'm a civil engineer. And I did a little HVAC myself. In fact, I have my 608 and my 609. I have my 30-hour OSHA card. And
shit, you went through the trenches, huh? You went through the rabbit hole.
I was Bisky certified for data and shit, man. Where you actually have to go to the classes and learn how to
and
run data cable and run fiber and all that shit.
And Cat 5 and all that shit.
Cat 5, Cat 6. I knew how to do shielded. I knew how, like I said, I could run fiber. I knew how, dude. I could. They were teaching me how to build core rooms basically from the ground up. When I was learning that, I worked at Procter and Gamble over in Ohio, and I worked a lot in their core room and in their backup core room, and then built a lot of what they called IDF, which were independent data facilities, which were little smaller, internet facilities to basically feed off of the core, you know what I'm saying, and
it's like a data center.
Yeah, pretty much all throughout the whole plant, man.
Gotcha.
So I know how to build the shit. I just don't know how. I'm dumb when it comes to all the technical shit side of shit.
Well, I got some other stuff I'm gonna be producing. I'm gonna be putting some RFID up there. But while we are up there, the three of us, let's get into the blue collar jobs because I'm blue collar. Although I have a degree, I like blue collar. I like getting my hands dirty. I am not an office guy. I tried working in the office. I enjoyed being out in the field. And I believe that we blue collar people get shitted on all the time, but we are the ones who are actually doing the work. And
blue collar keeps America running, bro.
Right.
Yeah, I just that was the point I wanted to get down into as far as the blue collar fields, because just like Angry Soundman says, though, right after they build that center, I have to run it, man. I'm in the plant. So I'm actually at the. I used to work at Wnba Bank, United Missouri Bank, long time ago, and I used to work at Hostess Brands, and Wonder Bread. I was an engineer at both of those places, man, and I had to run the data center, and I had to run those plants there and everything, man. And just like 411 said, we get shitted on, especially, man, if you are a minority, and also too, right, if you're hired for what we call affirmative justice, where affirmative action.
I am not a proponent of affirmative action. I think
I'm not. I listen. The places that
us, brother. Men's Daily, it benefits women. It doesn't.
It doesn't benefit anybody.
Mine was different. No, I got hired based on the fact they had to have a certain quota of blacks, man. Because man, because dude, I didn't know. I didn't even at the time, I didn't know what affirmative action was. and no offense to anyone else, who actually is Caucasian on the panel and in the chat, but the company that I was dealing with, right, had what we call a good old boy system, okay, in the union, man. I was in the union, and they had all white engineers, right, assistants, right. We had journeyman engineers, and dude, I was the only black dude hired. And it was like first week, second week, everything went fine. But when it got down to week 4, week 5, they gave me the baddest hard time ever, man. Because they figured, okay, we got them in here to meet the quota. Now let's do what we can to try to get them up out here so we can hire somebody else, right, that's white. And then after that, right, we could go ahead and keep them for a while. We just needed you in here to meet our quota. Like, it was some deep, dark stuff, man. Now I ended up, they ended up letting me go and everything, because at the time I was, getting my daughter and everything. She was being born and everything. I got up out of there, but it taught me a valuable lesson as a blue collar person, you guys. And take this advice: if you're a carpenter, electrician, it doesn't matter, civil engineer, I don't care. Is that if possible, man, try your best to not work for people, but try to work for yourself, man. I'm telling you, it pays off.
Matter of fact,
hey, you know what? Even I will advocate for.
Get your own contracts. You can work your own time, your own hours. That's why I respect anybody who is a freelancer, man. Well, because working for somebody is can only get you so far. It'll never get you rich, man. But if you work for yourself or use that person's income that you're currently working for, leverage that income to enhance your new opportunity, then that's how you can become rich, and that's how you can become wealthy in the future, man. And I had to learn that the hard way, and that's why I refuse to really work for companies anymore. I would rather work for myself. Now, in the blue collar field, I've been in it for a while. I lost a lot of the enjoyment due to the fact of what was going on with the discrimination and how a lot of us was getting shit on, man. I even seen guys who were like, man, black guys who were journeymans, man, and they had like guys always gang, whites gang, here in Missouri, there's a lot of discrimination and racism. Guys, I'm just putting it out there. I seen like guys who was cold black electricians, and they would always get picked on the job, always, man. But when they went off on their own, when they got their own electrical vehicles, their own licenses on permit, it was on and popping. But that's just how it is, man. But when it comes to these blue collars, man, back on the real topic, you're not gonna see too many women out here doing the dangerous stuff we do. 411, they won't. They want the same pay, but for less responsibility, man. It's sad, man.
Well, yeah, I'd like to thank DDT for coming on the panel. Hey, it's great. You're always welcome up here. Appreciate all the info. Talking about somebody who works for himself is my brother, Matt Coley, known as Big Body Productions. Spam his channel in there from Canham. He will tell you what kind of business he got. I remember when he bought his first truck, he drove from New Jersey all the way to Michigan to get his first truck. Brother Matt.
I didn't drive.
Be honest. Be honest. You didn't even want to. You didn't. Be honest. You didn't want to go back to Jersey, did you?
Honestly, man, because I like to see different shit. No, I didn't want to come back right away. I wasn't in a rush. But I got a 4-year-old daughter, man, so I had to come home eventually. But nah, man, just being out there, the atmosphere. I mean, I want the I flew out to Detroit. I went to Dearborn to get my truck. But after I got my truck, I drove out to Detroit for a little bit, and I was just sightseeing and shit. And I'm like, I've been in some hoods, I've been around, so seeing some fucked up areas don't really bother me. It's just amazing how you see the poverty and all that shit in these urban areas, and I'm like, damn, man, I almost feel like I'm at home and shit, man.
Bro, my dad took me to East Chicago once when we was in the truck, and oh my God, that was like one of the worst places. Dude, I was paranoid the whole time I was there.
Well, you up there in Lake County near Gary. That's in Hammond.
Man. But yeah,
I
was just saying, tell me you didn't want to go, just be honest, you didn't want to go back there. Fuck the garbage state.
I really wasn't in a rush to come home, man. I mean, look, I've been born and raised in New Jersey to where it's like, it's second nature to me. I could care less about it, man. It's
yeah. I feel you. That's how I feel about dirty ass Ohio.
But the thing about it is, Brother Matt went up.
When I went to Ohio, because I drove out to Indiana. You remember, Leon, when I went to truck driving school, I drove out.
You know what, brother? You and I haven't talked about that. I wonder what happened to that. I have a belief I know what happened to that. You and I know.
Yeah, my daughter's mom faked like she was pregnant, and I turned the fuck around. I left school to come back to Jersey just to find the bitch wasn't even pregnant.
You big dummy.
Faked the pregnancy.
You big dummy. You let her sucker you.
I mean, hey, look, at the time I had no kids. You know, I was.
How old was you? Like 19, 20?
Nah. It's crazy shit, man. I was only 32, man. 32.
Yeah, I remember when he did it, man. Back in, I think it was 2017. Yeah. But, you know, in the end, the blue collar jobs. I
won't, dude. I won't bust on you too hard for that. Then sounds like it might still be a little bit of a fresh wound.
Nah, man. Fuck that bitch, man. It was a little delay in my process of what I was trying to do, but I came out better on. I came out on top at the end, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I remember when he got his. Because I got a CDL myself, and I talked about it. I mean, I can remember I passed the air brakes and failed the knowledge test 5 times, and somehow I went to Gary that Monday and passed it, and then I got my tanker, and I'm happy to get a CDL. This is what blue collar will give you. I mean, everybody's talking about the corporate jobs, and I'm going to say something else. You don't even need to go to college with a blue collar job.
No, you don't. You don't.
No, you don't. I mean,
spend a couple grand, go to trade school, man. Dude, right now welders are paying outrageous amounts of money because they're begging for welders, dude, begging for them, and it only
really
costs you
depends on the companies nowadays, man. Because some of the companies, right, they lowered their expectations. Like back in my day, they used to have like a lot of contradictory shit, man, to apply for their jobs. It's like they want you to have like 10 years experience, then like 2 master's degrees and a bachelor's degree and shit. And it was like crazy because it's like about time you get the master's degree and the bachelor's degree, you still got to turn around and get the experience. But then after you get the experience, you still got to turn back around and get the school. So it was like, what it made you think, what the hell are these companies doing when they hire these human resource department motherfuckers? Like they didn't know what the fuck they was doing. So they started seeing like other companies and other guys started like freelancing, man, working for themselves and shit, man. And they like, damn, I got a contract with this person. I can't have them just work for me. I mean, it's a smart business move if you think about it. Shit.
Right. And the blue collar, here's one thing that you will always know. You ever hear of the word outsourcing? Your job will never be outsourced. You know, even some of these white collar jobs like accounting and that'll be here, but you can outsource a lot of other white collar jobs. And in fact, I know I did it because I'm an engineer, because it's the minimum requirement just to take the license to be an engineer. I'm a civil engineer by trade. I do not advise any man to go to college.
It's a waste of money.
It's a waste of money, and if you go in a social department,
he's not lying. He is not lying. Listen, I got 2 degrees right now, man. Right? It did not listen. They did not mean shit in the damn field. Half of the shit we learned in the heating and AC field, man, or whatever in that class or whatever, right? My instructor, like, look, he sat down and level with me. A lot of the shit we're learning in here, man, or whatever, right? I'm teaching you in the field, in here to make all the mistakes now. So when you get in the field, that's where it counts, man. We did not do a whole bunch of book work. We didn't, man, for real. And like some of the other classes, like history and all that other bullshit that include, man, or whatever. Yeah, it's not worth it. It is not. Now, if you go to school for a specific field, like my HVAC classes, my residential 1 and 2 classes and all the shit, heat pump and thermodynamics classes, you know, all that, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. But when you start, okay, well, in order for you to get the degree, we need you to go ahead and take an extra college calculus class and then college trig. And then on top of that, we still want you to take history and speech and all this. Why? And I had to find out, well, we just want you to prove that you're a well-rounded student. Why can't you just go? Why didn't you just go ahead and let these people, man, get the degree in the field that they are specifically needing the demand in, man?
That's because
Yeah,
of the feminists. They added all that BS in it that you take. Like I had to take
to earn extra money.
Well, no. If you think about it, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about back. You're talking about back in the day when it was technical colleges that you had to go to in order to get all these all these trades. Now they have trade school. Trade school's taking over technical college.
Well, you know who's teaching the stuff here in Indiana? Angry Snowman, Ivy Tech, because Ivy Tech took everything from the Votech. So you learn all that at Ivy Tech. And
Hey,
shout out to Brother Clue. The HR department makes no profit for the company. The HR department is there to keep management straight. That's what their job is to do. The HR, and I did a video on the HR department a long time ago. That is a useless department, and I would not advise having an HR department.
Thank you.
College students away from their parents. It actually indoctrinates students to basically turn against their parents and hate their parents. Stay away. If you're going to go to college, I'm going to tell you this. You need to go in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And if you're going to go in a business field, you can do accounting. But if you're going to go over to the sociology department, it's a waste of time. Don't major in LGBTQ studies, African American bullshit. Don't even waste your time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, my daughter is 13 years old, and I tell her, listen, baby, I talk to her to this day, and I said, listen, man, if you do go to college, you decide to, I'm not going to force you or anything, but you're going to make a firm decision, okay? But make sure you go into a field that is very high demand, to where if you get fired, laid off, or the company closed down, you can go right across the street, right around the corner, whatever, go get another one, or work for yourself. You understand? I've seen CPAs, right? White collar people, in accounting and taxes or whatever, work from the comfort of their own home, right? And because it's on demand, there are always going to be people year round always needing taxes done, or like you said, 411 accounting done, preparation and everything, there always something high demand. In the blue collar field, it's a no brainer. Shit, you just go into fields that's really high demand. Like, for example, I've seen guys go into asbestos, right? Asbestos, okay? And what would happen with the asbestos field, I've seen guys go like 5 years, 7 years with no work. But if they go clear in like 2-3 other states, way down the road, then there's like plenty of work. Not a good field to stay in. I wouldn't. But if you went into like the electrical field, the heating and AC field, or the trucking field, man, there's not a day, man, you don't have a heating and cooling call. There's not a day where there's not delivery. Hell, I was a courier for quite some time. I got a Class E license. And for real, courier to this day is one of the most funnest jobs I've ever had, man. The most self-employed as you can get next to a trucker. Because you just pack this stuff inside your little SUV or van and you just go, man. That's it. You work when you want to. When you feel like it, on demand, right? You're responsible for your own gas or what have you, or whatever. You just got to make it there on time and communicate with the customer. That's about it. Shit,
Hey, 411. I just got a notification that Cool Kamasi is interviewing TVA in 30 minutes.
You gonna hop on over there?
Well, in 30 minutes, I'm gonna have to go check that out.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna have to see how that turns out, man. Because you know how man, TVA, he's a character.
Yeah, he is a character. Well, I'll be off in about 20 minutes. And
have you guys seen the shit show that's been going on with Johnny Depp and shit, man, and Amber? Have you guys?
I don't give a fuck about that distraction.
I don't either. That's just not important to me. I care.
That's about as important as the
wow.
Will and Jada thing.
Yeah, my thing is, I'm for the everyday person like us. That's why I'm getting into blue collar jobs. I don't care about these celebrities. I don't watch their movies. I don't support their movies.
Well, I watch their movies if there's something I'm into. I ain't gonna lie. I don't pay to watch them. I got my Fire Stick and I know how to pirate. Shit.
Hey,
you got one too? Yeah, I got a jailbroke Fire Stick too. That thing is powerful, man.
I'm telling you, dude.
You know what? Might have to see how they work. I got your number, Angry Snowman.
Dude,
Yeah,
honestly,
I don't
dude,
know
you
how
don't
it
need me
works.
to do. I promise you, you can get on YouTube, and within 20 minutes, you will learn how to jailbreak your own Fire Stick and have some of the best quality movies streaming for free.
Yes.
All you'll have to
Yes.
pay, all you'll literally have to pay for is your internet service. I shit you not.
That's it. That's it, man. That's it. Me before
Yeah, I like the
before I even
sound
If
of
I,
that.
discovered,
dude, if I
I
could
just
figure,
paid cash for mine.
if I could figure out how to jailbreak a TV that's hooked up to Amazon Prime, I would. If I could find a way to jailbreak my smart TV, that's man. I'm gonna tell you what, that would be life right there, because I'd have nothing but Amazon smart TVs in the house.
Well,
Yeah, I'm still learning how to jailbreak Roku's, man.
I didn't know you could
Yeah,
jailbreak
it was like
Roku.
yeah, it's like yeah, I'm still learning it, man. It's like there's like 3 different third-party apps and shit you got to apply on there. I'm still learning. I don't want to start lying to you guys and everything, but you'd be surprised what technology does, man. And YouTube University, that's why I call YouTube University. You'd be surprised what the hell you learn on there.
Yeah, fuck, dude. I'm still running on my first OG Generation 1 Fire Stick. That's been jailbreak. Dude, that thing's been jailbroke. I don't know how many times with every update.
Still running off the shit.
well, like I said, the areas that you can find some real blue collar work. Now, I can tell you, Ivy Tech. It just depends on which campus you go to. Go to Lafayette campus out here. They even have it where you can get a degree fixing cars. That's in demand. Plumbing, that's in
Yes.
demand. I'm just telling you, you can make a lot of money when you do the blue collar jobs. And something else you need to know: there's not as much competition as you think there is with the blue collar jobs, because a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah, most people don't want to do that shit. That's too hard to work.
Yeah. The thing is about the pay, because here's the deal. You got one person on side of town that's charging this, another person is charging that, and another person charging that. You're just competing mostly with pay, man, and convenience, man. How soon can you make it to this motherfucker? Because look, I had to learn the hard way back in my 20s when I was doing this shit, right? They were pressing the issue. You got to have a license. You got to have a certification or whatever, right? So I had that shit programmed in my head. You got to have a license, have a certification. If you meet, for real, if you meet that guy around the corner or that chick around the corner and her fucking drain is clogged, and you know to do that shit, you know how to do that shit, you know how to go to Home Depot, go get that goddamn snake, bring it over and do that shit, she will pay you, and she or he is not gonna question you for no license or no certificate. I'm telling you.
Hell no, they aren't, man. I've made a lot of money going and doing.
If anything, they'll pay you more money because you came.
I've made a lot of money just doing private, contract work like that for people, they had some kind of pipe leak in their house and you got to go out and tear out the wall and, replace the pipes and put a new wall up. And people don't realize just how easy that really is.
And on my other channel, I will be doing more work out in the field. And yes, I'm going to go over some RFID stuff, because one thing, you got to be proud of what you do. And I don't let these.
There it is, too, man. You got to have some pride in your work.
Schmucks that have a HR department demean me or look at me as inferior because I do blue collar work.
And I don't like them lazy blue collar clowns that don't have no pride in what they do, that make you look like you don't know what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. I ran into that bullshit too, Mr. Angry Snowman. And I have, man. And it can really make you feel like you don't want to be back in this goddamn trade. But it let me know that it's not you, it's the type of people you associate with.
But I will say this, going back to affirmative action, the reason why I am not a proponent of it, because, okay, I understand the intent, I understand the quotas, but when you have to meet a quota, here's the problem with that. You're going to end up bringing somebody in just to meet the quota who's not qualified to do the job. And I've seen that. And race-based and gender-based quotas, in my humble opinion, they basically water down the workforce for phony equality.
Well, look,
my thing is, let my work speak for itself. And I believe the same way for colleges. they're denying somebody who's already qualified to get into college so they can let a minority in who's actually not qualified. That's bullshit.
Well, look, dude, look,
Go ahead,
Leon, you know just as well as I do. If you want real, equality of opportunity, then the only way to get that is through meritocracy. That is the only way to get to that, because a man's merit should be the only thing that qualifies him for a job.
Well, absolutely. But nowadays, okay, we got women in the work, and I'm gonna. They're just a number of women who should not be in the workforce because they don't do anything but disrupt the workforce. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh, I agree with you, man. Look, I told you earlier, women were meant to do three things: be wives, to be mothers, and to be caregivers. That was their job.
And I don't have a problem with them doing that kind of stuff.
That's like very, very traditional. I like the way you put that, man. I was like, wow,
well
put.
They're going to come in there and try to do STEM, and they don't know about STEM, and they're not going to get down in that trench, but they expect me to go down there, but they're going to get paid for me going down in the trench? No, because I've run into that before. And
okay, so Mr. 411, I got a question for you, and probably Angry, you've probably been in this situation too, but let me ask you guys this. Have you guys dealt with on the job a guy that was really intimidated by you and you were the new kid on the block? I'll give you an example. I'm talking like this. The guy could have been on the job, I don't know, 28 years, for example, okay? You coming at motherfucker, you only got like 2 years experience and I don't know, a bullshit degree or whatever, man.
Okay.
And the guy who's been there 28 years, he got it like in his brain. I don't know what it is or whatever, right? You know, you don't even have to have a degree. You can be like a 4-year apprentice or some shit. I don't know. And he thinks in his head that you're coming in there to take his job. Yeah. And also he got it in his head convinced too that the company is going to push him out of the way and just hire you to take his position because you got the degree or you got a little bit more experience than him, but he's got more experience than you. You're not there to take the guy's job or any shit like that. No, you're there to fucking get your job done, get a check and pay your bills and come back the next day. But he'll do like little passive aggressive shit to get on your nerves, right? To try to get you fired. Have you dealt with that shit or not?
I have dealt with that a number of times.
Any man who says he hasn't doesn't work.
I have dealt with that. That is, and the bottom line is, even if you don't say anything,
okay.
What I learned, Mensdale, is why do I need to make myself look stupid? Hey, if you ask me a question about an area that I know and you don't know it, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you. That's it. And why dumb myself down to make that person feel good? If they're insecure, all they got to do, you got the experience. What they need to culminate with that experience is to go get a license or a certification. It's not my fault that they didn't do it.
Thank you. Yeah, they've been at those jobs for like 20-something odd years. We come in there new, or in my case, black man, and I come in there probably with, man, I have like minimal experience, maybe like 1 or 2 years and a fucking degree. And this guy who's been there 28 years, no license, no certification, gets paid buku bucks more than my ass. What I'm walking around making, I don't know, $14 an hour. And this motherfucker is making like $38 an hour. He thinks I want his job.
Now you just mentioned something. The only way that they would get you into that person's spot is if they're looking at, okay, you just mentioned they're paying this guy $38 an hour and they're paying you $14 an hour.
Well, for example.
They're looking to subsidize cost.
That is exactly right. And they'll put you in. And guess what they'll do with you when they put you in there? Oh, they'll work you for maybe a couple of years, and guess what they're going to do with you? They're going to hire Joe Schmo out of college after he does his internship, and they're going to pay Joe Schmo about $10 an hour. You'll, at that time, be making, I don't know, $17 to $20 an hour, and guess what they're going to do to you? They're going to get you
out rid of him. They'll even have you train that motherfucker right for your position and you don't know it.
that's the game.
That was the reason that I refused, man, to continue to work for corporate America. It's a fucked up game. Could we also agree too? And I don't know if you guys been in the union. I believe Indiana's. We've seen the primaries. Indiana is a very strong union state.
No, I'm really from Ohio, bro, and fuck the union. I'm anti-union.
I have
unions don't do.
I tell
unions
people
don't,
the unions are a joke. They don't do
shit. They take your money. They take your money from you every pay period, and twice a year they give you a shirt.
They do. I was a steward when I was in Pennsylvania for AFSCME. It's the American, because my mom loves unions. It's the American Federation for, when I was working for PennDOT, I think it's the American Federation for State, County, and Municipal Employees. And let me tell you something. They took my money, but they didn't give me anything for it. Yeah, they got us some little raises, but the bottom line is it's the individuals who aren't members, but they're the officers. They're making the money off of your membership. That's why they're trying to recruit individuals to get in their union, because you basically subsidize them. Those guys at the top are grifters. They got a gravy job. They talk to you about how great the union is. Now, I'm not knocking people who are
a bunch of Obamas, man.
A bunch of Obamas.
I worship firsthand. I've been in multiple union situations, man. From the side of the union to the side being a scab, man. Let me fucking tell your ass, man. You guys, it's not worth it. It's not, man. No, I said the best unions, in my opinion, were like the unions back in like the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. Those were the real fucking unions, especially, like, I don't know how it is out there in Indianapolis, though, but we hear the painters union is still pretty strong out there. But, but nowadays here in Missouri, they're pretty fucked up out here, man. It's like you got the unions working hand in hand with the human resource department and management. So if you get in trouble, the union steward is not coming over there to represent your ass. Oh no, he's coming over there to have a seat and listen and not say a goddamn thing and get paid.
And something else you need to know: the unions also subsidize the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party is one that believes in unions. I mean, look at the NEA. This is why the public school system is messed up, because of the NEA. They're basically dictating to the teachers, some of them, what to teach. And the teachers have to be part of the NEA, which is the National Education Association. Then you have the SEIU. You have those in the big unions. By the way, a union is just like a corporation. They're supposed to be fighting for you, but in the end, the union...
They're fighting for themselves. Just ask Jimmy Hoffa. He'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Hoffa, man. They will tell. They will, yeah. Jimmy Hoffa will tell you. They will tell you. And, well, let me give my cash apps. Okay. Shout out to Case My Sweet Chocolate, Tommy Jean Brown. She gave me $25 with the cash app. D-Rock Den.
All right.
$5 spot. That's right. And again, yeah, I appreciate everything. I'm not one, believe it or not, just so you'll know me. I don't beg for money. I let people donate if they want to donate. I believe from my
beg. I am not too proud to beg for money.
Well, I just believe I want to deliver. I want to continue to deliver good content. So I'd rather have good content. I know some people hate. They can do what they wish on their YouTube channels, but I want to give myself an opportunity to teach. I got a small channel, but I'm not going to water down my content. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to come up with topics like affirmative action. And this was a full panel discussion tonight. And when I mean a full panel, here's another thing that I don't like. I don't want 10 people on the panel. That's just too many people. 4 to 6 people That's enough. The communication runs a lot more smoothly. And, at the end of the day, even with brother DDT, he had points that were different than ours, but I'm glad
I
he
would
came
love
into
to have I would love to debate him on some of the shit he was talking about. Love to, love to,
Well,
love to, love to.
if he's on my panel next week,
I mean, even not so much have a debate, maybe just a moderated discussion with him about some of the stuff.
Well,
That he was bringing up.
I dropped the link. He didn't come up.
I like that type of stuff, man. I don't think there's enough of that going on, really, to be honest with you. Of
Well,
people actually having any kind of discussion where they're actually talking about specific topics at hand and addressing them. Everybody wants to say that they're going to have a discussion or a debate, and somehow the actual topic of the debate ends up being skirted over, and it turns into a bunch of ninja shit.
Well, that's why I wanted to tonight. I said, okay, I'm gonna talk about I talked about Roe v. Wade. I wanted to talk about the blue collar jobs.
Yes.
And then I usually have an open panel because, in the end, there are right and wrong answers. But if we listen to people who are making sense, I mean, I don't mind, you can disagree, but if you're way out there in left field and I know you're not making sense, I don't want you on my panel because you're going to make me look bad. I'm sorry. They're going to, you got to also, when it comes to your audience, and we've all done YouTube channels.
One of these days, I swear I'm going to come up here and I'm going to introduce you to the 16-year-old leftist liberal me.
Yeah, well, hey, I was one of those liberals too, Brother Angus. So, man, you know why I was a liberal? Because I didn't know you.
He said, you know why?
Because I still lived at home with mom and dad.
And I had to follow their rules, and they basically told me I needed to vote this way. And then when I got out and started seeing the real world for myself, I started to change my way of thinking.
Let's be honest, men don't really see the real world till they're about 26 to 30. That's
true. That's
for real, dude. The rest of the time, they're kind of skirting over even the real world, man. They're just.
Hey, Mr. 411, I want to give you a compliment on 2 more of your videos. Hey, you guys, like, share, comment. This man's old videos apply today. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, the old videos.
I know. Thank you, man. I watched 2 videos. One was your Bumble video, man. That was powerful. Oh my God.
The dating site?
Yes, that was powerful.
Was on that one. I think that's when I was doing the dating rules out there at one of them. Bumble?
Yeah,
man, dude.
You got a thumbnail that says Bumble on there, man. And,
I put that on there, yes.
Yeah, that was powerful, man. I didn't know a guy took that chick to court and he won his $17, you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that stream too.
He did that. I think he did that, in my opinion, to make an example out of women, man. He did that to make an example. The $17, in my opinion, and won it. I think he did that to make an example that men are really getting tired of being used. They are tired of being used for prizes and money and dinner. They're tired of it.
Look, I ain't your personal ATM, bitch. You
Well,
want to be you want to be equal and have equality and be just like a man. Pull out your own damn debit card. Pull out your own damn credit card. Pull out your own cash.
And
listen, shout out to Luke Powell's channel, man. Go there. He's has a great channel, man. Specializes in him in Tijuana, Mexico. He said, if you ever date a North American woman, he said there's some rules you got to play. And one of his rules, he says that, hey, if I'm going to meet up with you, I need to know if we're going to go ahead and have sex or not. Because if we're not, I'm not coming out there because gas is damn near $6 a gallon in California. I was like,
damn.
Man, that's more.
That was the most pragmatic shit I've ever heard, man. That was real pragmatic.
You better give me some gas money, bitch. Otherwise, I ain't coming out there.
Well, that's what he said. He said, I need to know.
And in one of my dating videos, and of course you were on there with me, Brother Angry Snowman, I got one thing to say. The B over C. B over C is benefit cost ratio.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mentioned that, and you have to have an ROI, a return on an investment. This day and age,
That's almost like the hotness to crazy scale for women too.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the B over C is. That, you know.
well, many people don't talk about that, but many of these women, modern women, they're feminists. Who wants to go out with some crazy woman?
Well, see, and that's what's crazy is a lot of today's crazy women are ugly as shit. Nobody wants them anyhow. So go be crazy somewhere. Burn the motherfucker to the ground as far as I'm concerned. Bye.
Well, you got. Let me tell you, Angry Snowman, you got some thirsty guys. The reason why they can stay ugly is because these thirsty guys, they want to sleep with these women.
I'm telling you.
At the end of the day,
what's the term you coined? What don't they have?
they don't have dick discipline, brother. So
that's it.
At the end of the day, they want to sleep with these women, and what does it do to these women? It builds their heads up, and they think they're equal.
It gasses their heads up really quick, builds that ego.
That means if they run into another man, they think, "Hey, I conquered this man, I can conquer you too." And then they're going to get more with an attitude. That's feminism.
And you wonder why you got all these dumbass bitches thirst trapping on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube.
And I'm one, like I said, I do not like feminists.
I can't stand them. There's no such thing as a reasonable feminist. It doesn't.
Listen. This is the thing. I said to myself, right, and if you go to Filipina P's channel, right?
Yes.
She has a great definition of feminism, man. And the thing is, she was saying that she was talking about modern day feminism here versus other parts of the world. And she made it clear. She said, I'm a feminist. I believe in women's rights. I believe that we should have the right to go to school, spend money, do different types of things too. But the thing is, she said that women have been fighting for feminism so long to the point they forgot how to be a woman.
The problem is what I don't like,
and it's true.
They're saying I should have a right. No, you don't. It's like you're telling me you should have a right to drive. No, that's a choice. You should have the choice. A choice is not a right.
No, you have the right to shut the hell up when I tell you to shut the hell up because I'm tired of hearing your damn jibs yapping.
Oh, no more than they really talk from the idea of contradiction, because they have selective equality. That's what they have. They don't really want equality because equality means it's too much responsibility. These feminists are delusional children. That's what they are. And they whine, just like you said, Brother Angry Snowman.
You know what we say?
These
and when they say they got the right to do this and that, what we do is we pull out the booklet and we say that we got the right to use this and get the hell out of here and go to some more high quality, more beautiful, feminine, ladylike women all over across the globe, except for here. This little book, The Power of the Passport, is our true destiny. Shit. You don't have to, listen. I tell these brothers out here, man, the world is bigger than just North America. It is bigger, man. I'm telling you. Every country does not think and operate like North America. It doesn't. Every country don't think like Canada, think like the UK. You got a lot of these countries, right, out there, man, that are actually countries, right, that are having their own real patriarchy. They're still traditional patriarchic countries. Over here, we're in a hardcore matriarchy where not only feminism is taking over, but also too what I call westernized womanism. Okay.
Well, what we really have is a gynocracy. We're not full-fledged in the matriarchy yet. Well, maybe in the black community, because you don't have any men in the house. And men
I don't know. You got an awful lot of dumbass bitches running shit in this country.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look at what Angry Snowman is talking about. I see what he's talking about.
True. I'm going to tell you all something, and it's probably going to be controversial. I don't think you should be allowed to vote.
I don't either.
I agree 100%.
I don't think they should be allowed to be in positions of power.
I don't either.
Decision making is horrible. I don't want somebody who's emotionally unstable in a position of power when it comes to making decisions, because they're going to take something that they went through in the past and
Personal.
apply it as a policy, and that's what's going on. We cannot
Hey.
have that.
Look,
Yeah,
dude, the
I
bottom
listen
line
to,
is I'm not going to trust something that's willing to eat its own young just because it doesn't want to deal with the responsibility of it to run shit, and
Absolutely.
it end up being anything of value for me.
I mean, you can call me a misogynist.
Because if you want to turn it all the way back around to the beginning, that's what this is about. Straight up, that's what abortion is. These bitches are so. Don't tell me you ain't willing to eat your own young when you're willing to murder the motherfucker just to not have to deal with the responsibility of it.
When I listen to Coach Red Pill's channel, I went to Coach Red Pill's channel. This is what he said. He said, and this was some cold bloody stuff. It made perfect sense. He said, if you ever want to settle down, right, don't have your woman work. Whatever you do not have her work. Don't have her get a job. Don't have her get a career. Don't do it. She can get the basic education, but don't have her get a job. Don't have her get a career. None of that crap. Because what will happen is that she'll make those two things the primary focus, and she will neglect the relationship and her parental responsibilities. And then when she feels more guilty about it, guess what? She's going to work even more harder because she feels more guilty about it.
Well,
no exceptions. I did not think about it that way.
Well, I'm gonna disagree. I mean, I'll disagree just on my perspective of it from what I live. Okay. You know,
Let's
because I got injured. My wife now, because I can't work in the workforce like I used to anymore. She is the look, dude. She's in corporate retail. She makes good money. She works, but at the same time, all that shit you was talking about, she doesn't pull because I don't allow her to. Right. She does. I still don't allow her to neglect the marriage. I don't allow her to neglect the bedroom. I don't allow her to neglect the children. I don't allow her to neglect her responsibilities at home that she has as well. You know, just like would be her responsibility to make sure that I don't neglect certain things if I was the one out working at home. You know, right. The truth of the matter is for a successful marriage or relationship, both people got to be involved anyhow. You know, and really, in all honesty, men just got to not let women take control of the relationship.
Absolutely.
Even if you've gotten to a point to where you've worked yourself in the ground and that woman is the one who is the breadwinner, you do not allow her to run the relationship. Just because you can't go out and put out the footwork doesn't mean you still can't run that fucking business.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, well, but here's the deal though. If women got the will to work, what makes you think for 5 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever, right? She's not going to go to work and have somebody behind her ear telling her bullshit. You can
know what? The truth of the matter, but look, dude, I already know where you're going.
Relationship from a distance. You can run a relationship.
Look, bro, I already know where you're going, and the rebuttal answer to that is even if you were the one out at work working, she could still be taking the kids to the park with some motherfucker while you're at work, whispering shit in her ear and doing it right at home in your bed.
All right. Well, we're at 3 hours.
You know what I'm saying? A woman's going to do what a woman wants to do if she's a raunchy, nasty, untrustworthy, unfaithful individual. If she's an actual real woman who's about her family and a real commitment, she's going to abide by that commitment. But you as a man have to train her and learn her to
absolutely
respect that commitment. That's your job as a man.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to shut it down. Been here 3 hours, and start with the Brother Men's Daily. What is your closing statements for today?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for bringing me back on the live. I really appreciate it. I apologize. I got in the last tail end of it, man. I listened to the front end. You guys discussed some dark stuff, but I just kind of got into the tail end. But thank you for bringing me up. I really appreciate it, you guys, though. Keep up the good work on your videos, man. I'll look forward on your second channel to see other things on there. But your old content really got me hooked, man. I can't wait to see you shoot some more new content on this channel pertaining to
I
red
got
pill
some more coming. I'm gonna be doing some news
Oh, really?
stuff as well. So look out. So
you got some more? Okay, got you. Okay, cool. The only thing I gotta say is, you guys, please don't forget to take your daily red pills, you guys. And you got to remember, man, female nature is female nature. You cannot control female nature, right? Absolutely. If she has the ability to do one thing, she also has the ability to do another, right? Your job is to be a man and stay on your purpose and keep you first and protect your life and focus on your dignity and your prosperity of what you want to credit for your future. That's all it is. But you guys, thank you for bringing me on the stream. Thank you, Angry Snowman. It is a pleasure meeting you, sir. And
absolutely, same to you, bro.
Yeah, and congratulations on your marriage, man. You know, hope all goes well. You know, that's like I always tell people, right?
We've been together 9 years, bro.
Yeah, situations like that, a few far in between. You know, the exception is not the rule. So, anyway, you guys, yes. But anyway, you guys, take it easy, and I hope all goes well. Thank you, Mr. 411. I'll look forward to you actually having more and more content, sir.
All right, bro. Salute, brother. Brother Angry Snowman, your closing statements.
I think it's absolutely great that the Supreme Court has taken away the right for women to murder their kids and not get punished for it. Congratulations for finally doing the right thing, American people. For once, people are actually thinking with a little bit of actual real humanitarianism. You know what I'm saying? And actually putting someone else first. You know, I find it funny that these lefties say my body, my choice.
Absolutely.
But you know what? That other body inside their body isn't their body, so therefore it doesn't make it their choice. That body has a right to a choice too, man, and I think that's messed up. I think it's great of the Supreme Court to actually take the constitutionality ruling away from this. This is no longer going to be protected by the 14th Amendment under the Due Process Clause. That's what they had it protected under. You know, I think it's great. You know, women should be held accountable. And look, I know that I'm a married man, but yes, I still go hard on this woman thing. And that's because it needs to be addressed. This country is being feminized, you know, from the top down. And it needs to stop, because if you look at it, it's been going on now since the 60s, you know. And if you look at the direction that this country has went in, it's nothing. It hasn't gotten better.
No, it's gotten worse.
You know, and it's gotten more radical, which, you know, and that just goes to show you the nature. That's a woman's nature right there.
Yeah, to destroy.
You know, the radically emotional and without any real cognitive thought or of repercussion. And it's got to end, man. It really does. So, you know, shout out to the Supreme Court. Congratulations. Absolutely. Give them a round of applause for finally getting something right. You know, because the truth of the matter is the reason why they had to repeal Roe versus Wade is if they repeal Roe versus Wade, then every ruling that went along with Roe versus Wade, you know, like Planned Parenthood versus Casey, all of that is also removed from law as well. This should be a state's issue. That's the way this country was founded anyhow. We're supposed to be a republic. Each state's supposed to be self-governed by the people of that state. You know, we should be making decisions. And you and I both know Indiana, we already have some of the strictest abortion laws in the country.
Absolutely.
You know, you ain't finding Planned Parenthoods all over the place around in the state of Indiana. You know,
about that.
And you know what? I'm glad to see it go. You know, because think about this. Yes, there may end up being a learning curve to this, to where you have a bunch of dumbass kids that don't realize that this is really happening and go out and get pregnant and have to deal with their kids. But maybe that might start teaching people that maybe they don't need to be going out and fornicating the way they are.
That's
you
bad.
know, actually have some pride in yourself and your body and what you have to offer other people. Stop giving it away like it's just a cheap candy bar to everybody. That's something that should be earned anyhow. You shouldn't be passing that shit around to just anybody. Not everybody should be entitled to that part of you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I think maybe it's time maybe I'm just, you know, having high hopes, you know, but maybe this might change something. So congratulations. Yes, it's time bitches have to deal with it. No more women being able to murder people and do it without any accountability.
Agreed.
Hey, but hey, you know what? I appreciate you having me up here, Brother Leon.
And
It's
you're
been a
always
while.
welcome, my brother Angry Snowman,
Yeah.
fellow Hoosier.
You know it.
All right, brother. I'll be streaming next Wednesday. You got some topics, you got my email, you got my number. Let me know. We'll get them
Right
up there,
on.
brother.
Right on. I appreciate you. But I'm going to bounce out here. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to, what's his name that was up here with us?
That was Men's Daily.
Men's Daily. Shout out to you, brother. You know, DDT, shout out to you, man. I hope you come back, man, because I'm looking forward to having more opposing discussions with you. I enjoy that. But take it easy, brother Leon. Keep doing what you do, brother.
All right, you too, bro. Got my man Pastor. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing, man? Y'all having a great discussion. I wasn't going live on this Roe V Wade, but I'm gonna let everybody else take this wave. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit back and watch how this goes, because when they did that heartbeat bill down here in Texas, I saw Illinois send a whole lot of money down here to counteract it.
Well, Illinois, I live in Indiana, and Illinois is a blue state. And shout out to you, Anna Rodriguez. Thank you for joining the chat. Yeah, Illinois, Chicago, a blue state. We don't care anything about Illinois. I'm in Indiana. It's a red state. Texas has got it going on down there. And you just heard my brother Angry Snowman on. We'll see how this goes. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just going to say this. As brothers, we got to have our eyes open.
Definitely do.
How you felt? Too many soft brothers, and we cannot allow these feminists to control us.
Well, like I was telling people today, I was having this discussion with medical providers, and the thing about it, such an industry, so many industries have been played off the back of our children, from the child support, like monetarily, like from holding them to fit to their physical bodies, with all these different industries. And the healthcare profession probably needs to take a bigger look at itself, because I really this is so one-sided, right? Because it's not just the law that's taking these children out, it's the healthcare field that's helping, you know.
Absolutely. It's a lot going on. It's money involved. We who are average everyday Americans, many of us get caught up in it because we don't know what's going on. A lot of promises have been made to us, but they haven't been delivered. There's a lot of deception. And my job here on my channel is to make sure everybody sees what's going on. That's why I say take a step sometimes from social media, get out in the real world, and look what's going on before your eyes. Look at the violence that's taking place in a lot of these cities here and small towns. Look at gas prices. Look at your food prices. Look at the cost of all goods and services. They're going up. And this Roe v. Wade, what it is, looks like they're going to have the states control it, which it should. The federal government doesn't need to be in every aspect of our lives, because the federal government right now is too tyrannical. And, you know, me and Angry Snowman and the rest of the guys, we just don't believe a number of these women need to be in power. They're more destructive than constructive. One, they're petulant children who don't have any real cognitive ability to reason, but they want the power without earning the power. And we as black men, particularly in this country, we've allowed that to happen to us, because many of us have been brought up under gynocentrism. Because I'm just going to say this, and this is going to sound rough. Many of our mothers weren't shit. I'm going to be honest. They weren't. Even the ones who've gone to college. And I've learned that a college degree doesn't mean you're a good thinker. It just means you regurgitated something from a book and you're delivering it. How do you know it's right? You're taking what somebody told you to put out.
And that's the problem that a lot of doctors had during the last couple of years. You can't say the literature and the statistics say with what we went through with the last couple of years. So I think you're going to start seeing a lot of battle states, really like true battle states. Like you're going to see like I've been to Evansville, Indiana. You're gonna see Indiana versus Illinois. Illinois is a big problem for Indiana. So you're gonna see Illinois. You're gonna see Indiana versus Illinois. You're gonna see California versus Texas. You're gonna see North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina versus DC, Maryland. You're gonna start seeing states go against each other, especially with states funding different. One of the craziest things I've ever saw is states are now jumping in other states' political realm.
Well, they're not.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, they're not supposed to do that. Illinois can give out all the money, but basically, their citizens, the money can have the influence. But Texas is a big state. It's a big red state. I live down there. I know how it is down there in Irving, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to change too many people's minds in Texas. Just
I'm not sure. I'm not for sure. Texas turned very pinkish. Texas is changing, man. It's changing drastically. Texas is not the old. How long? When was the last time you lived in Texas? How many years ago was that?
I was down there in '94.
God knows Texas is a different place now, man.
Well, I still believe during the next presidential election, Texas is still going to be a red state. They still, I know you got people from California moving down there, but let me tell you something. Big T, they'll handle it. It's just like we got people here from Illinois and from Michigan, and guess what? They're not going to change the minds of we Hoosiers here in Indiana. They're not going to do it. I mean, we'll send them right back because we already know that policies don't work.
I get that, but it's so many people coming in. It's like they're almost flooding they're flooding the cities, right? So they think the cities are controlled. It's like the cities are trying to have their own. This is really weird, right? If you come to Texas, right? Like the cities of Texas, like Dallas and Houston, almost have their own governing process opposed to the rural areas. It's
they're controlled by leftist Democrats. Shout out to Antisocial Socialite Podcast. Yeah, they're controlled by a lot of your leftists. But hey, I'm glad you came up. I'm getting ready to shut it down. And you're always welcome to come on up. Nate was supposed to come on up. He never made it. And I'm again, brother, like your insight. I'm up here every Wednesday at 7-ish Eastern time, which is 6-ish Central time. And I'm going to continue to have my topics. I got a small channel, but I research my topics. And on this channel, you can have your point of view. And we do it like men here. That's how we do it here with my crew here.
All right. Well, thanks for having me up, man. Hey, it was good speaking with you, bro. Have a good one.
All right, bro. And don't forget Little Big Nate or Teapot Show. Little Big Nate is supposed to be broadcasting tomorrow. All right. Well, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who was on the panel. Again, there is a culture war out here, and the left has been taking their fair share of L's, and we're getting right in the trenches of the political season. Like I said, this Roe v. Wade is just a start. I'm going to tell you this. Roe v. Wade has not been overturned yet. There was something that leaked out. But here's my opinion. Let the states be in control. The federal government doesn't need to be in control in every aspect of our lives. So before I go, let's get into the poll one last time. Is this country in a culture war? And the culture war is traditionalism versus secularism. Well, I had 34 votes. 85% said yes, and 15% said no. And again, when it comes to topics, these are topics that we really need to talk about because the government has a lot of influences on what goes on in our lives. And it's up to us to rebuke the nonsense and the propaganda that the government, religion, public sector jobs, private sector jobs, and of course, media keep putting out. So I'd like to say this: beware of your surroundings, because there's also a lot of violence going on out here. Yes, we heard the abortion rule here. It really hasn't gone into effect yet. But everybody who's living in these states with big cities, something you need to know. Look at the amount of violence that's been going on. You have kids killing kids, kids killing elderly folks. There was an incident where two elderly folks had a disagreement. One shot the other. There's a lot of craziness going on that I have never witnessed. And it's going to keep going on if we don't have principles. If you want to stay alive, you got to know how to survive. And during this culture war, you have to find out where you want to go. Do you want to be part of the traditionalists or the secularists? It's up to us as an individual. But regardless of what side of the fence you want to sit on, we have to be mature. And we have to be able to understand that our thoughts are going to be challenged. But it's also better for us. But if we're going to challenge each other's thoughts, we must understand that a disagreement does not mean the other person is right and you're wrong, or I'm right and they're wrong. It just means that we see points differently. Now, the way I look at situations, I base it off of evidence. Who can bring me the most evidence? Numbers don't always work because they can be manipulated. This is why I don't give numbers unless they're raw numbers. But in the end, the question that I'm going to ask you, do you want tradition or do you want to be secular? The choice is yours. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for some more educational material, particularly in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, check out the QCIS channel. On that channel, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Yes, that channel used to be called The Mind of STEM, but I changed the name. Now, if you cannot find me on YouTube, you can find me on Twitter. But with the QCIS channel, I take it one step further. Since it's more of the educational basis, you can also find that channel on LinkedIn. And at the end of the day, I'm going to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for individuals who have become offended by the content that not just me, but other YouTubers put out that explains truth, I'm just going to tell you this. If the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And let me make one correction on that saying, because I forgot this part. I make mistakes also. I'm human. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. You can check me out next Wednesday at 7 o'clock with more content. Again, till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.